Okay, AJ, you're going.
So I'm doing double duty today. I'm doing, got to present for the health department and as the vice president of the Family Resource Network. So I'm going to present for the Family Resource Network first. Dayla sends her apologies. She was not able to be here today. She's actually both days that you got the budget meetings, she had meetings outside of the county. She's actually, I believe, in Morgantown yesterday and today. But as you can see, I know you guys have had a chance to start reading through the letter.
Yeah.
The FRN that we have here is not only an asset to the community, they've been an asset to the state. The programs that they jump into, some of them, like the community baby shower, I think we've been doing 17, 18 years, something like that now. You've got the STEM education, the family expo, Energy Express, Toys for Joy, grandparents me, and so on. But one of the big things that they have done that has really taken off is the Jerry Mason Family Support Center. We were the first in the state to have that, and at this point, we are the model, and they've asked Dayla to help set up in other pilot project counties. And it is, that it's providing direct services, and it's to help in an effort to prevent child abuse, neglect, family separation. And, with the other issues we have in this county, that is a tremendous asset to the help of those things. Kind of gives a safe place for families to go and do what they can do. But these programs, and you can look, they're pushing in 2024, it was almost 11,000 that they touched. I mean, you're getting up to close to half the population of Mineral County. I mean, not too far off, and it keeps growing every year. As far as that goes, and with that, with the economy, with everything, the FRN works very hard as far as trying to get donations come in, writing grants, different things like that. The amount of grants they brought in last year, they increased it almost 10,000, but they were able to obtain over 371,000 in grants. Which was able to, a lot of it was put towards hiring on additional personnel for the Jerry Resource Center. And then on top of that, the donations, you can see the donations at the bottom. So they work every angle they can to help this community. And with every program they do, it is 100% funded. And the services are completely free to every citizen that comes in through those programs, which I think is tremendous these days. You talk about bang for the buck, you will not get anything more than what you get out of the FRN. I mean, I challenge you to find that anywhere. Last year, I know they were funded at $7,000. Dale is not one to ask for more. I would say if you have it in there, because if you look at this, I would direct you to the second page when you look at the salary. She's not even the top salary person in her organization, because she makes sure that she has staff to help the community and do some things. But I'm gonna tell you that up top, for what she does, one of these days, we're gonna lose her because of that. And she's not one to complain about it. She puts her head down and does what she does it. Like Roger and I were talking earlier, it's not always about money, it's about what you do for the community and do different things like that. But at some point, it may be something we seriously, that maybe as a county commission, maybe you would want to look at to help them out with that.
Who sets her salary?
The board, but it also goes by, Dayla pushes, and I've tried over the years, and I will tell you, her mother was the same way. And I had to fight, kick and scream when I would get her, increases and stuff like that. There was times she wouldn't take it. And then I'll tell you, there's been times when the grants didn't come in. Dayla will put her salary off and so everybody else is paid. And she did that from July because the grants were late coming in. She did that with some of that. She put off her own salary getting paid to make sure her employees are taken care of. And, you know, that and some stuff, who's gonna do that?
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me who's gonna do that.
Extremely nice person.
So that's why I said they, as an FRN, they're asking for 7, but I'm gonna put out there, seriously consider maybe something with that. I think it's well deserved, especially with what they're bringing in to the community and what they're doing for that. You know, again, she's not gonna ask for it, but I advocate for them, usually a good bit, so. But that's FRN.
If we were able to do something like that, can you earmark and say goes towards her salary or whatever?
As we go through, that's what y'all.
That's good.
And then, of course, on the back, she's got some of the other services about the family. It goes into detail about some of it, but, yeah. Anyways, do you have any questions as far as FRN?
Nope.
Okay, Pat comes on now, I'm health department. Health department, as you know, we're into so many things out there right now, and I don't even have to look this like that is. As far as health department right now, it looks like we are, you know, we've been working as far as the new annex facility. It's gonna be hopefully in the next couple weeks that we will, start construction. We've been doing some things on the internal side of the building. It's gonna look brand new by the time we're done. So we're trying to take care of all the facilities out there with the means that we have, and I think with the price coming in with the building, I'm gonna have extra to put hopefully into the building out there. So like new roofs, new windows, it's gonna be top to bottom, inside and out, brand new along with the new facility.
When's
And
the
it's,
last time that roof been?
I don't even know. I mean, they did some repairs on it, but to completely, it's due, because we got leaks.
I thought you had a couple.
You know, we got quite a few that keep popping up, and it's always different places. So, and you know, those flat roofs are just,
Yeah.
horrible,
The worst.
horrible. But I mean, it is what it is at this point, so. And then, like I said, with the glass in there, it's single pane windows and all that kind of stuff, you have air just flying right through the windows, so. I'm gonna see what I can do to get all that done with the money, you know, I'm gonna use every last dime of what we got to try to do as much as I can. As far as statewide, everything, not sure where the budget's gonna be. I know what the governor put us in at was where we were supposed to be last year, and they cut us drastically. Then they started to bring us back up. It still didn't get to where it was supposed to be. Secretary Young kind of held on to some of the money down there. So I'm hoping it goes through. We talked to Randy Smith and, and to those on the other side as well, as far as the house. Right now, it looks like they're gonna keep us in at the, funding level, excuse me. We'll see. You know how it goes down there, like it could be 11:59 and they change everything, so I won't feel secure until we get through the, you know, April and be done with it. At this point in time, with the health department, you know, even with grants, not knowing what's going on in this stuff. Right this second, I have not asked for an increase. 15 years, give or take, at least, somewhere in that area. It's been, I don't know if you heard that, Jason, but thank you.
Yeah.
You read my mind. We have not asked for an increase in probably give or take around 15 years.
Okay.
And we've always operated with what we have. We've cut costs, cut personnel, we do more services, we've done whatever we can, look for more grants. And as of right now, I am not asking for any more money. However, when that building is done, we are gonna have to reevaluate because you're doubling utilities, everything's being doubled out there. We're gonna have to have a serious talk about how that's gonna be funded and what we're gonna do with that. And I could probably get through this fiscal year, but when we hit next fiscal year, and it is gonna be we are gonna have to do something different. And figure out what's the best way to do that is.
All the utilities are going up in general.
Yeah, I know.
Skyrocketing.
Yeah, well, and that's what with us, we're seeing them going up, what, of course, with New Creek, the water rates, all that, the sewer rates. The good thing is I don't think it'll be exorbitant, because I'll keep it, it's not, it won't be I hope it's an everyday use building, but it probably won't be an everyday use
Yeah.
building. So we should be able to keep things set a little bit lower unless we know someone's coming in there, that kind of thing, but. Same time, even when it gets to,
You gotta keep the equipment and stuff.
you gotta keep everything up to date, even you look at snow removal, we're making sure there's nothing going on out there. At this point, county doesn't do that for, we do that, we have Bob's come over and do all that stuff. For a lot of years, we were doing it ourselves, and it got to the point where even with some of the snow removal, the sidewalks, everything else, John and I decided, you know what, we can't do it, we got too much other stuff. So Boggs has taken over that plus the parking lot, but when that whole back is gonna be parking lot. It's gonna have to be kept clean, and so like I said, there's a lot of unknowns that we're gonna have to look at with this facility. I do think it is a tremendous asset that we are getting with this. It's been a long time coming, getting to that point. And I'll be happy when it's done, but that's where I'm at. So right now, like I said, with the uncertainties of what's going on, I'm gonna say maintain what we have. And that includes, with the county planning, the rent and all the three different things that we have out there. But once the building's up and running, within 6 months, we're gonna have a pretty decent idea, because I would imagine it's gonna be done by, I'd say by November. Cause it's not like the Hardy County Health Department, they started in April, they finished in January. But they had so much more in there. Ours is pretty wide open spaces, so it should be done relatively soon. So I would say by November, we should be in there. So, but do you have any questions? I know, Jason, you're new to this, so I don't know.
Just trying to suck it all in.
Well, if you got any questions any other time, just give me a number. Yeah, just call and bug me, but like I said, we've always been fiscally responsible. We just had our audit again, no findings. I couldn't even tell you last time we had finding. It's been a lot of years. So again, we work hard to do what we're supposed to, be good stewards with our money and make sure what we gotta do. And same thing I told my board the other day. I don't ask for money, but if I come to you and tell you I need money, I think our reputation should be enough to say, yeah, they've done this all these years. If he's saying we're gonna need it, we're gonna need it. So that's all, as far as that goes. So, thank you for your time
The new building won't be, it's not offices, it's more for planning sort of
and
thing.
it's gonna be more, honestly, it's probably gonna be used most for, people wanting to use it as a meeting room, training room, that sort of thing. It does have a couple clinic room, like negative pressure area rooms and some things like that. It has, we can do some vaccine storage and some other storage in there. It's got the drive-through bays that, like our mobile unit, we'll be able to park it in there. And that's the thing, it has to be plugged in all the time. We're having to charge we're having to jump that battery for the generator side of it all the time, even every time we use it at this point. Cause there was no reason to put something that's gonna cost me on the old building when, in 2 months, I gotta rip it back out. So we'll deal with it until the building's built, but when it's built, it's gonna have plugins for that, the other van that we have that, and we've been working, like I said, we got that mobile units out there, we're gonna have that facility. I got the other mobile unit that was almost $200,000 unit that's from the van that we got from the state. It has 500 and some miles on it. We haven't even driven it. So, we've been doing a lot out there. So the next generation, and that's what I said, I've talked about, when I decide to leave and retire, do all that. And, which minimum I got three years, and I'll be there longer, but probably be there until know more because I'm not gonna turn the keys to the Taj Mahal over to someone else after I've worked so hard to get it to where it's at. And I've got staff right behind me that have done just as much as me, so it's not a me thing, it is, I've got great staff out there,
So you get
so.
all this work done, there's some of the stress would definitely.
Yeah, like I said, last couple of years with everything that's been going on health wise and some other things, I'll be happy to.
So, once we get this done, and I'm talking about the building, furnished, everything done,
Yeah.
anything else, what's next on your list, you know?
My Achilles heel, that dental clinic,
Oh, what's that again, your,
my Achilles heel, that dental clinic.
oh,
I want that up and running before I leave.
Do that in Texas,
Yeah,
called Piedmont, Texas,
Yeah.
Center of Mercy.
but there's no,
that would be my thing, because even talking when we were at the meeting the other day, even what, we've got two dentists in town. I mean, I know we've got, yeah, one or two up the other way, up your way, but no one down here is seeing any patients.
no, Potomac Valley, they've never followed through with what they done.
No, I haven't gotten anything back, and that's why, that's what started with, we did the front, we were planning on the front remodel, but then it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this in stages. And we had we had with one of our renters with Wick, the carpet, and whoever, like we talked about, whoever put carpet in the health department, you go, but it was wore down to you could see paths where it was wore down to the concrete, and, cause it had 50-year-old carpet. It's like, okay, and then it's like, okay, well, if we do this, and I'm gonna get the 2 rooms ready for the dental, because I thought maybe WVU was gonna be coming. We got those cleared out now, or pretty much cleared out, I got new flooring, so we started just doing sections, and I'm like, well, if I do this, I might as well just do this section, and just be done with it, so, that's it, but if you gentlemen don't have any questions, or ladies?
I'm good.
So just to clarify, the 6 for rent.
5 for,
Bill.
yeah, and then I believe, we're 107, yeah, 107 and some change, I think, so. Yeah. All right.
Good. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. I gotta go to the doctor's appointment. Yeah, that's about my blood.
I hope it goes good.
Don't be laughing and explaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Missy coming up?
Yes. Yeah, I think I hear it on the phone.
Hey, I got,
Take the stuff out.
I got just for a minute.
Okay, well, I think Missy's there.
Get 2 stone painters this morning. Cross town, and it's not helping. I'll be right back.
800. Thank you. County planners 439.
Okay.
Ran this for the planner, right?
5,000.
What's the rent for?
It's the building.
Huh?
It's just my account. It's the building. We're paying rent in
The county planner,
the county planners out there, yes.
yeah, so that's what we're paying the rent.
No, we've been paying rent for years. And I actually, I guess we could ask AJ that was for me. It's our building, we're paying rent. I'm not, I don't know if it's rent for our extension agent, maybe.
Wherever you
That
want.
might be it. Yeah,
I might call them later.
but our extension agents out there.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
5,000 for the year,
that's the county planner.
okay.
Rent 6,000. Missy's paper, an individual sheet, and then it's also on the spreadsheet.
So the contribution, county planner contribution,
439.
that would be, that's the $5,000, that's the 20 health department, right? The cover, the red.
No, that was to cover what they were doing to help with county planning,
Okay.
because like the stuff that they were still doing, because as you can see, we were paying 40,000 a couple years ago, and that's when John and AJ were doing everything for county planner. But they're still assisting with that position being out there, and then that was also covering some of the costs that have out there. Utilities,
Yeah.
and
Cause I'm gonna
such.
have to get some of them
What, we want,
That was the 5,000.
Out there or what?
at the,
The
the office.
439.
for that.
Just one more quick question. County planner used to be the county administrator. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Well, all did you raise, Missy?
All of it.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I didn't ask you if there was a change in the agenda. The way I'm feeling, there's nothing. I didn't ask you about that. Sorry about that.
Other than Mr. Dusenberry wasn't gonna be able to make it last night, so he's coming today, so that,
Yeah, yeah, I seen that.
I think that was the only change.
All right.
There was something that I wanted to add that we didn't talk about last night. Can't remember what that was.
Was that the beach?
Beach festival or? Beach festival, or the electric at the beach festival.
Oh,
We need to add that to the.
no. No, I don't think so. I haven't got it totally. Okay, Missy, what did you get us for this time?
Really, other than I added, I think 200 to the uniform, I'm trying to think here. Just because of the prices of everything, materials and supplies,
Is that 12 or 2 in uniform?
12, sorry.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah. I see, added 1,000 to extra help from 25 to
Yes,
35.
35.
And then added 500 to equipment repair from 5 to 1,000. Added 1,000 to materials, went from 25 to 35.
And 200,
And 200 uniforms.
And
100
uniforms
or
is all.
1,000 to 1,200.
200 a uniform. What was
Yeah.
the other one you added?
Material supplies.
Oh,
Materials
materials.
and supplies.
What'd you add, 1,000 you said?
yeah. And everything else I pretty well kept the same, I'm pretty easy breezy. So,
You left one blank, you should have had money in.
what do you want me to put in there?
Capital overlay?
Yeah,
I don't, I'm just teasing.
That was actually just added this
Yeah,
year
I like
because
it.
of the furnace.
I like to tease.
I know.
You wanna have the same amount of last year for the furnace?
Yeah,
Everything working good?
yes, but I do have one issue. We're gonna have to look at buying a truck. For the simple fact that it's not gonna pass inspection.
Right.
That's the White Sierra.
Yeah. How old is it?
It's a 16, so it's almost 10 years old, but this is the issue. And then apparently somebody or something,
Oh, yes.
it's all rusted out.
Yeah.
How many miles is on?
Oh, Lord, this is the one that, I couldn't tell you, Rick's the one that drives this one. I haven't been in it for a long time. It's a good many miles, because this is the one that, Luke thought I wrecked with the deer and he's gonna total it. And I'm like, Ford, you know, he's like, oh. But yeah, the GMC has been, it's, you know.
When's
getting
the
rough.
inspection doing? You
I'm
know,
not days, Rick. It's coming up.
well,
I mean, we'll be okay, like, you know,
if you
but
got inspected last summer, it won't be.
I think we got, yeah, I think we got
Or
the
last
2
year.
year, yeah, so.
You got the 2 years. I
Mhm.
got the same problem with one of mine.
But it- And I mean, it's not that we don't wash them. Like, I mean,
It's
most of the
the
time we
salt.
hand wash them,
It's the salt.
yeah, so. Cause I took mine through the car wash this morning out of Sheets. Cause I hadn't seen a car wash for a while.
We wash our vehicles out underneath
Yeah, and I like that Sheets one
Oh.
because of that.
and through the winter.
Uh-huh. Cause that salt and brine is awful.
So it's a 16 GMC Sierra, that's a full size there.
Yes.
Do you need another full size pickup?
It wouldn't have to be a full size. I'll be honest, I think Rick would be a lot more comfortable in a smaller, mid-sized truck.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to have a Canyon and I love that little thing. I mean, you could whip it in, whip it out, you know, like you can turn it around on a dime.
Does he have a cage in the back of that?
Yes,
So if we got a smaller truck. he
I
can
know
get
we'd
it.
have another cage.
Yeah,
That's what's
cage.
bad. So it'd be nice to try to get something that we could,
But the cage will fit.
uh-huh,
Full boxes or anything else.
No, just cage.
Just a cage.
Yeah, and they're expensive.
Yes, they are,
I mean,
because they're not cheap,
no,
they're not made cheap.
no. I mean, it's all aluminum, it's where it doesn't rust or anything, and they're lightweight, you know, so they don't drag the truck down.
Yeah.
Cause when I,
Maybe, if you get an opportunity to measure that cage, just
Okay.
like we look at new trucks, we can make sure it'll fit in there.
absolutely,
Get the length, width and height of it. You can do that,
and I'll get you the mileage on it.
yeah, give some mileage and.
Or the way to test things, for welding plants out, go check to, make it a project. If we got, just pay for the material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, Pro Stainless is the one that builds them and they repair them with no cost, thank God. Herbie does really good as far as if something breaks or something, that we can get back out there and they fix it. Cause that cage alone has had the doors fall off of it twice.
Okay,
So, and he's just redone them for me and not charged me anything. So that's a plus and stuff, other than when they actually make the cage. But yeah,
Okay,
So-
nothing else.
so I'm good to go.
Good to go.
Other than when you're all done here, if you wanna come help me, like. One got out of
What you got out?
the cage. I've been in the office.
It's in that, it's
It's in the building.
So
I walk-
we form a line and get it.
Well, Gold Bronson said, get you a thermal thing, and I'm like, I'm not going to buy no thermal thing just for a minute cat.
Get you a good can of cat food.
Oh, I got that on
It
a track.
smells real good, set it out, put it inside of a little cage, and a light tray.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I'm
Yeah.
done today. Cause I went everywhere, but I've been up on the freezers and everything, so I don't know. So I'm hoping it'll show up. So,
It hasn't gone up to ceiling.
no, I looked and I was like, oh, if it tears out that new ceiling duct and all those filter things, I am going to just have a cow. But it didn't. I've looked everywhere. I mean,
It's the last place you always look. Well, I'm sad with that.
and it couldn't get in my garage because the garage door was shut, so it was shut off completely, so it's in the kennel area somewhere.
Hmm.
And you ought to see me, cause it's not a nice kitty, and I was like,
I can bring my doggy up there, she.
snip it out.
She can sniff it out. But you better stay with her though, because it might not last very long after she finds it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm looking for. a
Yes.
snack.
so yeah, so, okay, I'm good,
Thank you.
you all have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys?
How are you folks doing today?
Good.
Very good.
How are you? Thank you.
I'm Scott, from Aging and Family Services and the Blue Yard Fiscal Officers here. Don't want to spend much time. We have shared in the past, our biggest need is with our Meals on Wheels program and nutrition altogether. Inside, and you can take a look at this later. The second page kind of lists what kind of services we provide. Meals last year, we did 57,962 meals in the county. We also provided over 125,000 hours of in-home care to keep residents independent in their homes, out of premature nursing home placement. 844 transports and a wide variety of other things that we don't track in our senior centers. But through COVID, the cost to provide these meals has just increased just under 50%. To provide these meals this year is going to be at over $500,000, of which there's about an $80,000 to $100,000 loss that we make up through fundraising, local support, our 5K, our Senior Olympics, different things that we can do. Past years, there had been some extra money from the state through the COVID money that was allowing us to not make cuts, meet these needs. Those monies are drying up now. So we really have to get to our fundraising, try to be very creative to keep these meals flowing throughout the county. Again, we appreciate the county support. It's at $7,000. We know that your budget's very tight. We're on the back, we're asking for 10,000. Again, we have a big deficit. We're looking at different ways to bring that down. different fundraising at both the Kaiser and the Frankfurt Senior Centers. But we're hoping if we could get up to $10,000, that would be a fantastic, for our agency. What kind of questions does anyone have for us?
I know what they do. I don't.
We see you once in a while
Yeah,
there,
I
yeah.
couldn't be there last week.
Yeah, he tells us about his woes all the time. Your woes.
No, I think you provide very good service to the community.
Okay.
I really do.
Appreciate that.
Are you still gonna do your office expansion on the back of the?
We're looking at different, we're looking to maybe up, back, but we have a, case management program where we have 5 case managers in 2 offices, 2 small 10 by 12 offices. But a lot of them work remotely. So right now, we're able to continue the way we are. Again, just costs, you know, a lot of the funding has dried up. We tried to get a federal grant, that fell through. So right now, we're waiting until maybe when the vet comes up for sale, we'll see what we can do on moving off to the side and doing some things there.
State drinking plan this year.
It is not treatment, it looks like we're gonna have a level funding from last year. And we were down there last week or so and they're fighting different things, but it looks like the senior budget is remaining the same.
You didn't want to buy the KFC bill?
We love that.
That's not for sale, either.
Well, no, we've years trying to get a hold of that.
I don't understand why they're leaving it set there.
You know, use eminent domain and take it.
Well, it's in the municipality.
Well, that's in city limits.
Yeah, well,
We'd love to have it.
there's a couple different, apparently somebody was from Houston, like there was the owners of the land and then somebody else was from Illinois. I know Louis had tried to contact them and someone's paying
Someone's paying lease on it.
lease on them
Till
and
next
taxes
year.
on it, but
Why would they be paying it?
because they probably don't know that they're paying it.
Yeah.
A big corporation like that is
Mhm.
sending money out, but right now it's just a parking lot between us and the PVTA.
Yeah.
Well, because the vet, I don't know how they had that many people. They took up our lot, so we pushed off to that side.
We need about half of it. We'll give the rest of it back to you. We need to expand a little bit and a little bit of parking and we're good.
Yeah,
You're not too bad on parking, are you? Too bad? Yeah, it's not, don't look too bad when I'm out there for meetings.
Well, that's because we're using KFC's area.
if we
Yeah.
stayed in our, well, then we would have had to tell the vets that they couldn't park on ours. They take about 12 of our spots, so we would be okay. But all the back is the vet and the vets have even moved behind KFC. So we're on that side in between them, but
You wonder how many people work in that.
yes, yeah, how do they all? And they have at least 20 plus vehicles there.
They should be moving hopefully by summer. We'll be out. To the new
Yeah.
building.
Across the road.
Mhm,
That might help a little bit.
mhm.
Should.
Are they working to sell?
They don't own it.
They don't.
Out of Virginia.
Yeah, Winchester.
Well, if they let you guys have that building, I'd like to see you get the old. Right, it's a nice.
It is. It is.
We had heard that years ago when Sheets wanted to move, they wanted to buy our current building and the vet building, and they were offering $1 million apiece,
Mhm.
and the vet turned them down. So,
Whoever owns it.
yeah, not to them, the people out of Winchester, so, yeah. They'll probably be asking a lot more than what we want for the parking and just moving, another 20 feet out into there, but we will ask around, like we always have been doing.
So they're planning on moving up the new building this summer?
I think so.
I didn't know when.
It's been slow.
Since then, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big building.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge.
All right, gentlemen, any other questions or
Thank you.
if you ever do, just, you know where to find us. All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
We haven't get the loan payment for the building commission, it's usually received back. Assembly's trying to. Check, we know it's signed.
Okay, so we got the rotary.
I'll actually, I'll text you. One second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 49,000 in a dog fund right now, so for the truck. and
So we could buy our new trucks without too much of a problem.
Some
Yeah,
of it
that's,
would
a
probably have
lot
to
of
come out of
people want to
general
get shot next time they get their vehicles inspected. Cause you can't, you used to be able to, if you had a rust hole, you put tape over it, that don't work no more.
They have been able to do
We
that for a
can't
while.
deplete-
Well, they done it the last time I had mine inspected. 'cause-
Yeah, we can't deplete all of dog fund, but so some of it would probably have to still come out of general account.
Cause a year ago in January, I had mine inspected, and Freddie just threw tape on it, he said that'll work. Now you can't do it.
I haven't been able to do it for 10 years probably.
Well, who'd you get inspected? Freddie always done that to me, of course, my own dog, I was Rick Montgomery. So, can't do that no more, I'm gonna have to get the truck fixed.
Take a piece of, thin sheet metal and
Yeah.
operated it over. That's what I had to do. I didn't even put it in companies. So I use sheet metal screws.
So Joel walked by.
He did.
Okay.
Here, I saw him here.
He'll be, he's got 5 minutes. He's.
I've allotted 15 minutes for each budget request. I did allot him double the time because of the number of counts that he has. You have it down as well.
When do we need again for the budget?
Well, our next commission meeting is March 11th, but we should probably meet before then. But we pretty much, we have everybody else's request except Luke. When's Luke come back?
He's coming back today, but he won't be in here probably for Monday.
We'll have our figures from the assessor. Probably tomorrow or Monday.
On Monday, we could meet Monday, but this room's tied up for about an hour Monday after lunch. So, huh?
That Monday's not good for me, or Tuesday.
Well, we won't get back from Charleston until Charleston.
You'll be back Tuesday. Let's see. Mhm.
I said, that's where I'm going Monday, probably just down there.
How are you? The seventh, is not good. I got something going on myself. I gotta look at home and see what it is. Can't remember what it is. Hmm?
Here.
Beware when you guys aren't here.
No, our meeting is the 11th and the 25th next month, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a day meeting. We just have to have the budget done by the second meeting in March.
We've got something down here with Gloria Shreve and the Health Department. You're supposed to be here on Friday, so.
Something down here,
Yeah.
27th.
Roger.
Yeah.
Gloria Shreve from the Health Department has the room from 12 to 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's having food, and she said you all would be here because, the girls leave half a day on Friday.
I got it written down.
Does Mineral County First have the room scheduled for 9 o'clock that morning?
For Friday the
Seventh.
7th, I don't see it on the schedule. Did you ask them on the schedule?
Yes, can you put that on the schedule for me?
Yes, what do you want, what do you need
9 o'clock, 9 to 11,
on the 7th?
yes.
Did you just say Gloria's gonna be here at the same time?
At 12.
Well, we'll be done by then. And she's got it from 12 to 3.
And you'll be discussing your budget, Roger, because then Margaret will probably be sending her budget request at the March 11th meeting then.
Oh. That's what that is.
Yes, it's your budget meeting, yes.
We had a meeting at the health department that evening. With them, extension office, that's what that is. I got it written down on my other calendar at home, but I haven't had time to put it over there yet. No, it's it. No, wait a minute, that's it. She's gonna have that meeting here from Cole. Gloria send me.
I had, I got a message on my answer machine and then I was out of town, so I was making calls on my drive to Fort Campbell and I had Cody call her and that's what she said she needed was the room from. She actually wanted it from 1 to 3, but then she called back and asked if, because if she was having food and she wanted to set up food.
What about just after our commission meeting on the 11th?
I say just a very long day,
Uh.
yeah. Yeah, probably just a very long day. I don't know, day. And if we need any follow-up, then we'll have between the 11th and the 25th doing follow-up. But we should probably, pretty much,
Yeah, she's got it from 1:30. It's when the dinner starts at 1:30 and then the meeting starts at 2.
That's just what she told Cody she wanted the room for.
I don't think, oh,
We can call her back if you want.
let her set it up when she wants it.
Okay.
They know, maybe they're gonna do something else, I don't know. Send it, yes, better.
Okay.
No, it's supposed to rain today.
I didn't either.
Oh, she was a little bit colder, just so it'll be snow.
Oh. We almost got, almost is like a curse. Curse words,
I like this.
that 4-letter word. Ooh,
Love driving in it.
you do? We came back from Mineral County Day. What time did you all leave? Did you leave right after the,
Yeah, right after the session.
yeah, and did you come the interstate or did you go through Thomas?
No, I understand.
Yeah, we came.
Oh.
Good idea.
Well, no, I came a little early, the roads wasn't that bad,
Yeah, we hit snow,
did you?
yeah,
I mean, it was a little
like in
covered from.
Buchanan, we hit snow the rest of the way.
No, I didn't, I hit snow from a little bit, the roads wasn't bad from Thomas Davis there
Mhm.
out to the top, it wasn't bad at all, I was. But we left a little early, because they wanted to get back.
I left after the last meeting, but
I didn't expect it to.
it was blurry and fucking, but then. Rest of the way, I think we must have went around it
Yeah,
the other way.
yeah, when we got to Buchanan, we were like, like, should have stayed on the interstate. We weren't gonna turn around then and go back.
Sheriff's.
The sheriff,
I was just looking at it. We are. whole, salaries for those guys. This is gonna be the biggest thing for us to discuss. Yeah, sheriff's department.
This event here, did you see it on the thing here?
That's what I'm looking at now.
Well, we'll get reimbursed one of them, and I think. That's extremely high for applicants.
You guys waiting on me?
Yes, sir.
Every minute takes 10,000 off your budget. Take your time. Were you in Jenna's office?
Sure.
Were you in Jenna's office?
The one out there by the door.
Oh, okay. I walked back through there. I just didn't walk all the way in.
Morning.
Morning.
He said, "Rick, so long as you give you a half hour,
I'm really gonna need 45 minutes there.
Okay.
Where are we starting?
wherever, on the front." Right. You got,
Law enforcement?
You have.
And we'll start with four,
yeah, that
four.
sheet.
Now I have to.
Yeah.
I'll just try and-
Yeah, the big sheet. You can use the big sheet if you want it. I like,
See everything on this one.
yeah,
Did you do that with the additional line item? And that's what we filled out.
This is the one
yeah,
you
that's
filled out.
the,
So they've got copies of that, plus they have the actual spreadsheet with it plugged in as well.
this is for your, tax office, I guess.
Nah, this is the, oh, which one?
The 404.
that's what I can put the first page as. It's a tax already.
I just have to do it.
Alright.
I mean, whatever order he
Yeah,
wants to do
yeah.
it in. I said.
Yeah, well, it's the small ones.
I tried, I was gonna put like level or,
Yeah.
yeah, 700 last,
Yeah, this one
But
looks
I
like,
couldn't
this
put
one
it
looks like
up.
the less painful,
yeah.
wheeze into it.
Yeah, pretty much most of it has stayed the same,
Yeah.
except for the salary, which would be the, increase for the employee.
Now, it's what you're talking about, your new employee, you know, and other than that, you didn't put no salary increase in it. Okay.
Not at this time. That'll be next year. That and,
Took you, increased your tax overtime by $300.
yeah, that was increased a little bit, and I think the only other thing was the uniform.
Uniform costs. Very close, very now, pretty much,
This shirt right here was $140.
Every time you have everybody have a new sheriff come in, it does add to the business.
You just get one for the whole term. One shirt for the whole.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna duct tape this baby up.
Well, I think from now on, we need to get sheriffs elected that are the same size and then just pass.
We just passed it on.
Some of that did work. Some of that did work. I do have a couple shirts that work for me. Yes, sir, that's it.
That wasn't bad at all.
700 is the next one on our sheet, which is law enforcement.
I'm getting it some way by.
I think this is the one that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Sure you don't wanna save that for last?
I was just rip the Band-Aid.
You're not gonna
off.
you're not gonna hear anything about the other budgets after you get this.
Yeah.
Your mind just gonna lock down.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not kicked out, I think we're doing well. Okay, now what we did is I broke down, from the overtime rather than having it all put together. We have some of the things that we can pinpoint, which are, of course, the holiday pay. That was broken out, put it into a separate line item. And I put an event line item, which mainly is for Apple Harvest and for Camp Minko.
Now, I know they have been spending for the Apple Harvest around five, because that's something they asked for. Usually the previous ones come in and ask for, because it wasn't budget. They asked to add, it's usually around 5,000, right?
Well, what I have for
But it
this one,
exceeds that.
Well, last year it didn't. Usually it's around five. That's something I've been watching, because I think Burlington United Methodist Family Services should contribute a little bit to that.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to them about that, at least about a percentage of that
Yeah,
being.
I think we should.
But I mean, I get that it's different from what it used to be. It used to be right there on campus. Now it's everything from campus to Burlington Fire Department.
Yeah,
But I know the Camp Minko, that is a reimbursement.
that is, yeah, can't make it.
Put line in,
700.
the event one, 700 one.
I just have it under
That's-
300,
He put it over here
302.
on the.
See, what's gonna happen is,
Okay.
So they're gonna add these line
Yeah.
items.
yeah, they're actually on the new spreadsheet I gave you.
Thank
Yeah, they're already
Oh,
added.
you
in.
have on there? Okay, I didn't see.
Cause what's actually gonna happen is every pay or once a month, Kim and I are gonna have to journal entry those figures into these individual line items.
Okay.
Now, the overtime that's listed there, it's kind of difficult to. It's kind of difficult to kind of figure out. I mean, we sit down and look through and went through. A ledger that Lauren had printed out for us, just to kind of get a breakdown of where and so. Do I think it's gonna cost us that much? No. But,
You're referring to the actual overtime, the 150,000.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That we do have, the water that is in the county right now. And so we are still in the hiring process for it. Both have passed the polygraph phase and we have, scheduled the physical and psychological. But with that, we only have one. I know we had spoke about having 2 additional deputy slots allocated for the department. Right now, we have 1 to fill. We do have 2 potential candidates, so we would have to, at least get one of the new positions approved by 1st of April.
Do you think one of them could go to the resource?
I think both could go. They look pretty good.
The process, just to get one person from start to finish, where they're on duty, how much does that cost?
Cost, I don't know.
I mean, with the
Well, you
test-
got, well, what is the psychological? Nine
Is that the
hundred,
900?
900.
The poly was 3.
Wow.
I don't know what the
It's just
physical
put in front of
cost
us.
is.
It's a pretty big process to get them through it.
Oh, yeah, but once you get, if you're looking at time frame, when you get them through the academy.
Yeah.
Which is what,
15.
15 or 16 weeks,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you meant dollars.
16 weeks in
Yeah, but it's 1500.
$9.
it. 1,500.
16 weeks in it.
But you got a lot more than that in it, because you got travel expenses,
Yeah, travel.
you got a lot more than that in it.
You've got travel, you've got uniforms, you've got,
Would rough estimate be like maybe $4,000 to get them from start? Four, five.
yeah,
I just wanted to kind of figure, that's all. And then some of them don't make it all the way through.
Some of
But
them-
there's agreement now that they have to reimburse those costs that they.
Okay,
yeah, so.
thank you.
A lot of the other. Items have stayed the same, the utilities.
Now, the reason you don't see anything in the prior years for utilities is because we used to have the 702 detention center line item.
Mhm.
But we merged that one last year because July of last year is when it officially became the law enforcement building.
Right.
And there was no reason to have those separate costs called detention centers, no longer the detention center. So the 17,000 that was budgeted in 702 last year came over to 700.
There is a bill down there now that will allow us, possibly if it passes, where we can detain people.
I know, which I
24
think is hilarious now that we just read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to allow to help cut down on the jail bill cost. But,
After we remodel the jails, we can do that.
Yeah.
Now, we do have,
Yeah, I texted you about that. It was six.
yeah, we have potential to house that many,
6 feet.
but then
but then we gotta have somebody to provide
you gotta
food.
have, well, we can get them sack lunches, that's.
Yeah, we can get them some of them
That's still,
granola bars.
Yeah,
There you go. Peanut butter and
that's
jelly.
still cheaper than the jail bill.
Well, Lauren offered to do dinner. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not opposed to that, because that's what our school's been doing
sack lunches?
at Elk Garden.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
they don't have
sir.
a cook.
They don't have a cook. If these innocent kids can't get a decent meal, why should the criminals be fed?
Hey. You're not gonna get it.
That's not right. I think the cook finally did come back. Her mother died, and I understand why she was off. I get that.
Can I ask another question too, on overtime? I'm just trying to make sure.
If you have questions, now is the time. to ask.
Yeah.
But, what does the state do for the state troopers for overtime? And how does that work for this? Because I know you guys work a lot.
State police has a quarterly budget that we work off of. And I don't know exactly, it changed so much. I don't know exactly how they come up with their budget. One, I mean, you've got so many districts throughout the state. You take Martinsburg, their overtime budget is by far higher than what we have. Yeah. But again, there, the problem we have is the manpower difference. So I think what we had per quarter, when I left it, it might be for $20-some thousand per quarter. But they had a lot of other things that like that, the funding, the grants that they have too, which helps with the help with the overtime with state police. Now that's being worked on.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to tell you something. I just thought of this because I talked to them about supplying Elk Garden students with food.
Mhm.
You can get food for the inmates over here if you keep them
Mhm.
very cheap. Do 18 Family Services. They'll deliver it right to the front door.
There you go.
That'll solve that problem.
Yeah, you got it.
Because they was willing to take us to Elk Garden, but. You know,
They keep going. They allow overtime though on top of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they,
I just had it in my understanding that once you reach your limit, they didn't do overtime, but.
oh, no, that years ago, yeah, that's how it was. We had about $2,500 per quarter.
Okay.
And you did not, it didn't matter how much overtime you worked, you didn't get paid for it. Down to about the last 3 weeks of that quarter is when they allowed you to count overtime. So. Big difference between then and now.
Crimes change.
Yes, sir. Travel. We had a little increase there. Now. It's something. Of course, the
What'd you up at, about 2,000?
2,000. Expecting the cost of things to increase. Well, of course, for maintenance, that's definitely going to increase. Hopefully that doesn't get to be. We just got 4 new ones that we have working on getting them on the road. And I think that's, we've only got so many that aren't under warranty now right now. The rest are under warranty. So. But that also includes, price of tires, batteries and all that stuff. Tires have went up. considerably.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So, training and education, that increased. We've got some plans to get some in-house training. And I think going in-house is going to allow us to get more training in for the guys and save on a lot of the expense of having to travel and pay hotels and.
Also, West Virginia Court, our risk pool insurance. They will provide free training for the officers on some de-escalation, and I can find out what all they do.
Yeah, give me
They
the,
can, I'll get you
give me
there.
the, I've got, well, that's on the other budget. We have, that's only two, for the training, I have one officer right now that signed up for 3 classes a day, which will be very beneficial, J.R. Bradley, which eventually is going to replace Chris when he retires. So. Professional services, we looked into having a contract. You print that out. Yeah, which would give us 30 hours a month with him. I think. I don't know, email or text. But that price is kind of included. Basically, that professional services includes a $1,500 a month IT contract with them. It covers everything. If we have to have emails, any IT work whatsoever, it's all covered in, whether it be on site, if we can do it at the house.
Sue?
Bob Cooper. And that's 30 hours a month that we're basing that off of. That's why that line item there is increased, so.
Okay.
The additional line item, did I remember that, the canine training, which that pretty much is just covering for all 4. And the holiday pay. Outside of that, there's no other bad rights.
It's the same. We're separating holiday pay, it drops separate. It wasn't taxed, right?
No, it was all just lumped together overtime.
But that's really, that's just gonna break down that way.
What did we decided to leave the half-hour a day in with just the general overtime, right? Half hours per canines every day.
Oh, yes, but you said that was just the training, that wasn't K-9 hours.
Now, also included in that overtime, each canine officer gets a half hour of straight time with overtime every day. So, and that's, don't quote me exactly, but that can go over $10,000 per year. So that's also included in that, overtime up there. I considered doing a second line item for that, but Lauren told me she'd bring it like.
Except we have the journal entry, we'll have to keep the time sheet separate and do spreadsheets each pay just to move those line items.
That's
over.
straight time. Straight time, just straight time. Yes, sir. Yeah, I know they need that, to take care of it all.
One. Look like we're done.
27, here it is.
Okay.
Okay. Civil process. That all pretty much stayed the same.
We should get two more in uniform.
Yeah, $200 more in uniform. Outside of that, it's.
$729 resource officer.
Simple process, what, just explain that to me real quick, what that is.
Which one?
It's
So
Jeff
still-
Conley.
Yeah, Jeff Conley,
Okay,
process servant,
okay.
subpoenas. That all remain the same.
The only thing we didn't have included was the refunds, and he asked about that, and I said, it all depends on when we get the grant funds. From the state, whether we include them, we deduct them off the invoice that we send the board. Or if we get a check after we do the invoice, then we have to do a refund. Like this year, we just did a $5,000 refund so far this year, but last year we did 39,000, excuse me.
Well, you'll get that reimbursement from opioid money.
Right. For the
That'll be
portion
80.
of it too.
Yeah.
Seven there too, there's just nothing we do with.
No, 702 was merged, it was just called detention center, and we were just paying the utilities. But then July 1 of last year, the law enforcement building, it's just the law enforcement building now, so it didn't make sense to have the 702 just for utilities, that was added into 700.
Okay. And it's 704.
That's not one of his budgets.
Okay.
So we just, did 729, which was resource officer.
Yep.
There was no change on it, and now we're gonna do 730, court security.
The only change that would be in that is if we did take them to civil service.
Right.
And we figured out that it was about, you quoted it probably, was it 18,000 a year?
I think,
4,500
I think it was, yeah, it was around 18,000.
Yeah, so that would be, if there was to any increase to that. It would.
Like it says about that stuff.
And actually, if you notice in resource officer, we have 25,000 in hourly, and that's because they're summer hours, so. But that, if they go civil service, they won't have summer hours. That'll be part of the base pay.
So that 25,000
Would save.
pretty much offset. I want to ask you, where you going?
Okay.
I want to ask you a question here. And I'm just curious about this because we've kind of been misled previously about this. This is why I want to ask. If we would go with civil service, we was always told, and I've heard this over and over, the more deputies you got, the less overtime. Is that going to increase our overtime?
No, that should decrease the.
It should. That's what they said before, but it's.
See, that's what you have, I mean, if you're already down 2 or 3 guys,
You're gonna have to put them out there.
especially in the summertime, if you have one guy per shift that's wanting to take vacation at the same time. Now, rather than just being able to pull an officer that can be a floater, instead of being able to pull him and putting him on the shift where it doesn't cost you anything, you're having to put 2 deputies and paying them overtime for the entire shift. Actually, not just for the entire shift, but for the length of whatever. Well, it's a week.
Well, let me ask you a question. I thought about this a lot, long and hard, trust me. And if we would do, could we take a little bit off the overtime? Your overtime.
Oh, I think so, yes.
To pay.
I think so. Like I say, that number was put in there because it was very hard to come up with
It's hard.
a number
100%.
with the previous year.
Because you don't know what, when and what's gonna happen.
Absolutely not. And then having, again, this year, providing, well, we already have the water in the academy. And providing we're able to get 2 more in there, first part of May, which is when the next, by the end of the year, you're looking at having 2 more officers, which is going to make it 4 more than what you had the previous year. So not only are you gonna have the manpower to where if somebody calls off sick, you've got a guy, okay, we're just gonna move you from this squad to this squad. So
How
rather
much
than
is that
paying,
increasing your squad by?
that's adding 2 per. So you not only have your 3 for the full squad, but you've also got a guy that can work the floater wherever you need him with no additional cost. None at all. And then by adding these guys in the summertime, instead of having 3 guys on your day shift squad and the floater, now you have 4 guys that you have out here that you're not paying anything additional for. Whether if you've got, transport that need taken, that's not taking your deputy off the road, you just throw them in, they can take them, we've got a stack of warrants in a warrant file. You put 2 of those guys together and you say, hey, this week you're serving.
Then our bill goes up.
You didn't have to bring that up.
You're thinking ahead of me. Jason. Yeah. And then also like, you know, when school's out, whatever, whatever, rather than having 3 guys out here running blind, just covering rec shop, you've got 7. At no additional cost,
Because it's resource
because
officers,
they're already being paid for that. Already being paid,
so they don't get a snow day to themselves.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
We don't get one, they don't get one. And, something else I thought about that last night,
One, when we saw pros last night, I got thinking later on, we seem to give the pros kind of the vehicles that are on their last leg. So how's that gonna affect now if they're gonna be running the road when their day's off? And they're in the vehicles that are at the end
I
of the
think the
lane.
vehicles they have, it's not that they're bad vehicles, it's just they're the next,
Next one.
they're the next line of vehicles to be phased out.
Okay.
Not that they're bad and
The only thing,
untrustworthy.
the only thing with their vehicles that they run were 2-way drives. Most of them are, every cars.
All the Tahoes are 4-wheel drive, and
Yeah,
I
but
think
they're-
the 2 Chargers that are being used for,
Yeah.
are all.
I think they're all.
Oh, are they all drives? I didn't realize. That's what I was thinking, 2 Chargers. I didn't know that.
Well, Doug Bruner, who's lived in Perry High.
Yeah.
He'd never get up there to
Oh,
drive
no.
over
No, I didn't realize. I thought.
there. I think the 2 that we have that are being used by them are all.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think the last 3 Chargers that you got bought, that they bought in the past, are all-wheel drive.
Yes, sir.
Is that part of their training too, is the driving?
Oh.
The new deputies and stuff.
Oh, yeah, they have to go through emergency vehicle operations in the academy. Thank goodness we use their cars and our hours. Trust me,
I'd like to just go through that part of the academy.
it's fun. It's fun.
That'd be the fun part of it.
You've been down to the academy?
Um,
It's quite, been down there a couple times.
Something else that they could help do that's, I can't,
I know you had them down for summer help
oh, yeah,
and 10 days when they're off.
yep. And then,
We said in the porch, we could help with. porch.
oh, absolutely. Well, we'll have. We'll be good as far as the port security goes. That's something I didn't want to have to pull. I didn't want to have to pull from the road to cover any of that. But what we have with the 4 that we will have starting next week, plus Doug and Jeff. I think port security is never gonna be an issue. But the manpower out in the county is where it really counts. And I know there's something else that JJ and I talked about last night. warrant service, then, okay.
Hutchins is the one who coordinates all the court security.
Hutchins, yes,
Yeah.
Which one's next?
7:30, 4:30.
Court security,
How is your new guy working out there, of course?
he starts Monday.
He starts Monday.
Starts Monday. That would be, that's the increase you see on the salary side.
Does court security go through any type of training?
No, but that's why you see my training went from 500 to 2,000.
That's, they have to qualify.
Okay.
Yeah.
They-
Well, yeah, interdepartmental, they have to do the same thing that we do as far as handgun qualifications
Okay,
and taser, so.
Yeah.
is
which
that also been counted in our, for all the ammunition stuff we buy, the armory, is that all included in that budget too? Then?
Well, no, that does not have any, that would be part of what we, materials and supplies that we had at, should be included in that line item.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do about that.
No, there's not. I just didn't know if you want to see what each of your departments is actually spending further, break it down even more, but that's more line items for Lauren.
That's about 13,000.
Yeah, well, for that, for the court security, so you can see how they're operating, how.
Yeah, that part there is not separated from the department.
Okay.
When they qualify, it's just everybody. But as far as cost for that, what Lieutenant Leatherman ordered, that should cover us for the remaining this year and next year, I believe. Because the way he had it, figured out.
Yeah,
So you're looking.
and with us going to all the
It'd be
same.
for the next fiscal year.
They can keep track of that on their end because they know how many rounds each person shoots when they qualify. So
And then we have
because
some.
Missy has to qualify, the dog warden has to qualify.
Yeah.
So they, I mean, they can keep track of that on their side.
Any of those that are certified to carry a handgun outside. I mean, we, of course, state doesn't apply, but within this county, that's good.
How's the new business?
Well, did they get approved to be purchased?
I thought they approved the
Yeah.
purchase, yeah.
That's what I asked.
Yeah.
I thought they already got ordered,
Did they?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I think he ordered them.
Okay.
I didn't know if you received much. of it.
Now, I know the holsters and all that stuff has come in.
Did it, I know he was gonna hold that one holster for the messing it up.
Yeah.
Down there.
But I know that all that stuff came in and I'll check with,
Yeah, I just wondered if they came in yet, I didn't know.
not yet, not that I'm aware of. The increase in overtime. The bailiffs are gonna be used more now than they have in the past as far as transporting. That could very easily be, I mean, that's something that's unpredictable. You don't know for sure exactly.
According to this, I haven't spent any overtime last year, that was good.
We can put that back to
I think
3,000
it's in
probably.
the hourly line item, actually.
All the overtime,
What is it?
Yeah, their overtime is actually hitting the hourly, so that 4,800, that's their straight time and overtime.
And part of the increase is to have more, have every courtroom have a bail thing, don't
Yes.
afford anything.
Yeah, you want to take the old town to the court, theory back to jury? Is that what you said? I didn't quite.
There's been none spent out of it.
No, it's the 4,800 above an hourly,
Okay,
that's the overtime and hourly combined.
she's thinking any overtime expenses has come out of the hourly line item budget instead of the overtime. Which I mean,
Then maybe we should-
even that's good too, because there's
yeah.
15,000 budgeted there and we've only used 4,800 in the first.
Yeah, cause truthfully, that's hitting wrong, because that, hourly,
That should come out. of the
that was
overtime.
Nathan, a lot of that was Nathan. I think he hit that line item, because he hit
Nathan,
seven.
yeah, Nathan is the fifth, that's Nathan's, the 15 is Nathan. The expedition.
But they have, but there's, yeah, they're overtime, because they haven't worked much, but they might have, stay over a half hour or an hour every once in a
But now-
while.
Your overtime is not 15,000, it's 4,000.
No, we're talking about the hourly.
Yeah, that hourly,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
Yeah, that's-
48,
that's the Nathan
11
Rice.
is including the overtime, it did hit, it doesn't look like it hit the right.
it did come out of the, right area. Yeah,
Okay, got you.
so maybe we'll. Keep it there for now. We'll know. We just can't predict.
No, we don't know.
Um, The travel, that's fuel for, you know, the training, initially it's 500, nothing, requested that. I have sought 2 different places for court security in, 2 different companies. One is going to get the cost is $400. And it doesn't matter whether you have 4 people or 40, and that's in-house. So that's one of the trainings I'm looking at bringing in.
Okay. When does your training usually take place?
I don't think probably they've never had any.
Because I
Outside,
noticed the zero.
yeah, outside of, the firearms and taser training that we do in-house, they've never really had any other training. And I've got 2, there's one that covers different aspects of courtroom security, things that you look for, outside of proper handcuffing and control procedures. Those are 2 completely different trainings that I'm looking to bring in-house with it. Because they've not had any at all, unless, well, I'm not gonna say that. The one we just hired is retired from federal corrections, so he's had training pertaining to that. So a lot of that can apply to what we have, but there's different things that you're gonna look for in a courtroom setting than you would in a prison. So that's the kind of training that I'm looking for. This is the big one.
Oh, we already did the big one.
Well, this is the big one, being there, I think it's 2 things, equipment.
Oh.
Adding.
Well. It would be. I don't have it in mind. You have it on yours, Lauren?
We ended up with 240.
Hmm?
We ended up with 240,
240.
because you had 60 for the cams, 30 for the laser, and then the rest would be for 146 or 148.
Yeah, 240.
It's an increase to 8,000.
So what that has is I brought a couple of these. This, we had talked about possibly putting like $25,000.
Yeah.
Per year.
Which I think is a good idea.
Well, that's really not cut. This price
Well-
includes the contract for the cameras. Now, this is just a continuing contract every year. It's $60,948 for 5 years, and then we can roll that back into, which we're saving money by doing this too. I think Roger said it was almost 40-some thousand dollars by having this type of contract. That's what we have now. And it's not a matter of having to save money every year for it, because it's only costing us. Instead of every 5 years having to pay that huge lump sum,
Right.
we're paying yearly now,
And then how much will it be every 5?
$69.48
A year?
a year. And the tasers did go up from what we initially was,
They were 14
yeah,
a year.
the contract, now this is for the new taser hens. These are completely different animals than anything that they've had before.
Yeah.
This, you've seen the tasers that they've had, you've got 2 shots. Each time.
He's
you fire
got
two birds.
in.
Yeah, and they fire individually. So I could sit here and plunk every one of you twice and still have more.
Don't show us.
I'm just saying, we don't have one, but the benefits of that is.
Use Ken for an example. Ken,
Yeah.
come up here,
I can push the button.
Colby will take it.
Get used by everything else.
But that price also includes the new pager contract. By doing the bundle with them now, we're saving $32,000. Which would cost us $31,157 a year.
Instead of 25 year, where do you think we're saving that?
I don't think we're doing anything to it. Because we're not gonna have that large bill in 5 years. It's just gonna be that yearly contract fee.
But even if we put 25 in it, we're gonna have a little bit there to fall back on for cars and whatever maybe. Right?
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't even have to do that much, even if you just did. You Kinda like a
They
rainy
wanna
day
up it to
fund.
3 instead of 240, yeah.
know, yeah.
So this 240 is covering these, I say subscription, but
It's covering these, it's covering the cost of the lease for the vehicles we still have. The purchase of the new vehicle and all the equipment that's needed to outfit that vehicle is all included in that price.
I don't necessarily want it itemized, but can we get an itemized list of everything that covers that?
Oh, yes,
And
sir.
just give me just get us a list of,
Just give you a breakdown of where that money's going to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'd like to do that.
So you're comfortable with 240, you think that'll cover it?
I believe so. I sit down with Roger. There's only one vehicle coming out of that cost now. One vehicle and,
That's the outfit and everything.
yes, that's the buy the vehicle outfitted.
Now, when you
8 radios were included in that equipment cost.
put that equipment cost, is that to have everything done to that vehicle when we get it?
Mhm.
That's everything.
When we get that car, that's the cost for everything that we're gonna need to get that car up and on the road.
Equipment and all.
Yes, sir. Plus 8 radios.
The K9 unit would be a little more when we get to that.
Well, Rogers figured that in, but whether it'll be just a non-K9 or K9 vehicle, it's covered that.
That,
I'm good with that.
that thing that instead of paying one lump sum, we're locked into that for 5 years?
Yes, that would be the subscription contract for the camera systems, which we
Yeah.
just got.
Mhm.
And the new taser, if we get this approved, then we can start getting the ball rolling on this, because that also covers, the standard certifications from Taser 10, plus it gives us 2-day instructor courses and full installation included in that price.
And then we have to renegotiate 5 years and to lock in another price. This stuff.
Probably new contract. Because
Well,
we don't know what your
Unless
needs
you
are gonna
say-
be then.
Yeah,
Yeah, unless you stay with the Taser, which this is something that's. It seems like every couple of years they're coming out with a new model.
right.
But if you get something like this, I mean, I don't,
It'll be a while.
even if they do come out with more models, I don't see why that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to that. But it's being X10. That puts a new level of safety in the officer's hands that they've never had. So,
Yeah, if I could, I'd like to have a list of that or an itemized list. And I would appreciate that.
that's good.
That is all.
Yeah.
That's all you want? It wasn't too bad.
Unless y'all will get me ready.
I'm just glad I had a couple last. Then my blood. No,
That is one. 1.5 hours.
hey, when you get them tasers, you know, I don't want one new, but I like to see them. I've seen what they'll do.
Before your next appointment, these were 2 bills, the building commission payment is due. So if we can go and get approved, this is back.
Yeah, I'm good.
And then this was the P card, the cover sheet for y'all to sign it
So
yesterday.
you're approving these contracts with Taser?
I'm good with it, because you gotta have, them things you got down.
When do you have to know that? Definitely.
This contract here
We'll do that on the March 11th meeting.
Yeah, that's where it has to come from the meeting, but I'm good with it.
We have to prove it on our commission meeting
Yeah.
March 11th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the email.
Cause them ones you got now don't have, some of them don't work.
Yeah, this quote expires, yeah, we're good for the meeting, because this quote expires in May.
Them ones you got now don't work the rest.
Can we push it back to May?
Jason? You want to come back, mister?
He can show you what these haters can do, all 10 of them at one time.
I'm gonna set the bank a little bit more interest.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Joel. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta keep safety and, what they do.
Absolutely.
It's not good.
When Chris gets back, I'd ask him to,
You need to see him, he'll be in town tomorrow.
talk to him.
He'll be in town tomorrow.
But I've asked him to go through our current list of shotguns and rifles. See what we have. How old they
How the auction, isn't that coming up?
as soon
They've already been
as soon as the new handguns are, get in here, yeah, I've already got all that set up for. The FFL and everything.
Just if you send him a text, then come in the office in the morning, don't keep him too long. My wife said the other day, she didn't think he'd ever want to go home. He's getting bored.
You can't get him out of the office.
He's really getting bored.
He really is. You need to come down and see these shotguns that they got.
Well, hey, we're good for the 12th, right?
Yes, sir.
For your conference room. I want to know.
Yes, I'll even put you a big note on the door. Roger, coming.
Yeah, well, all the employees.
He wants to go carpet roll out for himself.
Yeah, before we there for that training. So,
Yeah, not change subject, you guys, you still got budget meetings tomorrow?
no.
Are you guys available to go up to Fort Ashby to look at that building?
Tomorrow?
If not, next week is fine too, so.
Well, are you busy this evening? It's raining, I can't.
Tomorrow I won't be able to.
Tomorrow night, well, let's work on next week. I'm fine with that too. But,
Let's see.
I have to get some work done in the office.
Today?
No, down over the other.
that's fine, next week, we can get something on next week.
Okay, as long as it's not
Not Monday or
Monday.
Tuesday.
for Tuesday. It has to be Wednesday or Thursday, because I'm tied up all day
That's
Friday.
fine. You guys just let me know what day works for you and.
What's going on Monday? Remember?
Charleston, they're gonna be in Charleston.
They're going to be, that's right, I'm not going.
Can I get approval on these two bills then?
I make a motion, we pay the accounts payable.
Second.
I approve that also.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll get with you, Joel.
Okay, sir.
The one over at the school where you put a satellite.
Oh, that's what it's about. Yeah. Okay. All right, all right.
Now we're behind.
We should have Joel that.
Yeah, okay. Actually, had, now the ones come, the hits really for a big one up. Come on up, Ken.
Ours will take long,
Huh?
you know, ours will take long.
Well, if you want up here, fine, wherever you want. It don't matter.
You know what we. All about.
You all haven't get that yet.
Is that included in the package?
Okay. I emailed, I called over an email to someone, but might not have been the right people.
I can help I had
Here, she can have this. I've got 20.
Doesn't change.
Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, we're just requesting the 20,000 that you all been contributing as a sponsor to the.
You always
To the
stay
dam.
on.
Yeah, I mean, if you happen to hit the lottery tonight. And want to, couple Dutchess paid down a little bit. And send that
Well, if you can manage to go over to Roger's house and get some out of his mattress. His wife's been complaining about a big lump in the middle.
What size
I'd really
truck,
like to
what
leave
size
that.
truck we wanna need for
You need
that?
one of them wee little ones, you go to Walmart and buy.
The one thing I did wanna point out, to you all is this past year, if you look at page 6,
that gets a breakdown, a yearly breakdown, you know, you all been contributing. How much our annual expenditures are. Last year, you see a big jump in that number. If you look at the very next page, 56,000 of that, almost 57,000 of that was just the normal mowing, the normal yearly stuff that we do. But we did run a contract last year in the whole district and spent almost $450,000 in the whole district doing additional repairs to the dams in the district, of which 141,000 of that was specific to the Patterson's Creek watershed. So that you see the big jump there for 2024, that number is actually the 56,000 and the 141,000 added together. So that's what was spent last year in the watershed. So that's, you know, that took care of several things that have been needing done, you know, on lots of the dams in the district. But basically, we're just requesting annual funding that you don't think that
Default in any of the damage, or they're all pretty good.
overall, they're all, you know, functioning as designed. You know, the previous pages there list,
Yeah.
you know, the years, the ages of them all.
Some of these weird.
Yeah, they are, and most of them were designed as 50-year dams or 100-year dams are the typical. The last page, I mentioned the rehab dams. You know, that we were in the process. Now, I will tell you that those currently are on hold due to the federal administration change and some of the cuts that are in effect. So we're not sure how that's going to ultimately shake out, but those are currently on hold at the moment. We did, this is more involved with the city of Kaiser, but we did purchase one property here in the New Creek 1 dam, right at the base of the dam. The Watson property, it was one of the properties that was necessary for the rehab when they ever do follow through with that. There's another property right beside it that will also eventually need to be purchased, but so we actually have a couple people staffed from the agency over here. We're currently at the moment just going to use it as a field office until we find out for sure what's going to happen with all the funding and all of that.
Do you guys work into Green County if any of the dam?
Oh, yes.
Do they contribute something to you?
Yes. I want to say they also give $20,000.
I knew there was something, I didn't know how much they give.
Yeah, I want to say because part of the Patterson's Creek dams are actually in Grant County. Or in Grant County, yeah. But yeah, we have dams. We have dams in all of our locations except Hampshire County is the only county of the 5 counties in the district that don't actually have dams.
You service the whole region?
We service Hampshire, Hardy, Pendleton, Grant. And
Region 8 counties, yeah.
All 5 counties. And we have the largest number of dams in the state are in this district. We have 73 of the 175 dams, 73 of them are just in the Potomac Valley. This is definitely a busy.
I've often thought about them dams up in, some of them go at the same time, Farmington wouldn't system.
Yeah, I mean,
there's some big dams up through there.
yeah, and
They've saved a lot of flooding.
yeah, they definitely have. I mean, they certainly serve their purpose. Yes. That's our pitch.
Okay.
All right, do you appreciate anything?
All
No problem with that.
Ken, are you back driving in?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's blue.
Is it blue?
Yeah.
You won't drive the yellow no more?
He's driving that blue new Holland.
Oh, you get your new one? I sold my New Holland.
Well, they didn't send it yet?
Oh, yeah, I did get another tractor, yeah, for the chicken house.
And your small one?
Well, it's
No,
low profile tires. Yeah,
120 horse.
yeah, that's big, that's pretty good size. I sold mine in Holland, I didn't need it no more. Than just let
I
it go.
spent 6.5 hours in it, one of them yesterday. Subsoil fields.
Looking good. Chicken business looking good.
It's different.
It is good.
Well, I mean, we switched companies and everything.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Who'd you go with?
farmer focus.
Okay, same one Linda good at. He really likes them, he seems to like them. Other than he has to put a little more money up front with the houses, but he's still.
But that company took on way too many new growers. Supposed to have 20 stays down, we're not getting it. And they can't process them fast enough.
I don't think.
They're working on it. Famous last word, right?
Yep. We'll see. How's Phil doing?
She's gotta get this hysterectomy in the morning.
He said, Phil.
She's got cancer.
No, I'm, Phil done?
Hopefully they get it all.
Phil done?
Better you.
Not Jill, Phil.
Bill, oh, I'm talking about my wife. I thought, Bill, he's doing that.
When you said his director, it kind of threw me off.
I thought you said how was Jill. I wondered how you knew.
Well, she's got,
My wife.
yeah, I know Jill. And I hate to hear that. I hope everything goes well.
They said it's a piece of cake. Couple little holes and we're done. Send her home.
All right, well, take care. Come said hi. Okay.
So I have a meeting, yeah, at 6:30, scheduled at a mountain station, to discuss budget for the end of the story. But I wanted to go over some stuff because there's been a ton of questions about
6:30.
6:30 Wednesday evening, and Mountain Fire Station. Association meeting at night. There's been a ton of questions about the ambulance party and where we spend money and what we do. So I thought I'd come here just to go over last year and how we're gonna budget for this year and any changes that we may need to make. So right here is that's my copies. This is a copy of every expense that was paid out of the ambulance fund last year. Thank you. Except for, that's. Here is a copy of the. I separated ALS 201 because it's kind of like a fixture, so you gotta take that out of the rest of the money. And here's the ALS 201. I was wrong. I originally told you guys that done it. I think it's 36. And then here is deposits, which are listed as a various, but it's deposits back for the $50 a call run that the ALS 201 ran last year, that totaled $12,000 back in the contracting departments. Every department has paid its bill. I'm assuming every time you've ever sent one out.
I've never had one.
You've never had a problem. So
And I've
that's,
not even had to fight it.
that's outstanding.
Even Grant County stays there.
You'll look,
This is what's going in there. Sorry.
that's from the chase car, running calls from us.
Oh, okay.
The department's reimbursing
Yes.
for the $50 every time the chase car medic gets on board the ambulance. And goes to the hospital.
Not every response for the chase car, but when the medic.
Just when it looks like there was about in 2024, it looks like if you divide it by 50. It looks like there was about 240 times for the year the medic got on the ambulance in the hospital. If you'll see, it's getting about 70 calls a month on average. 70 is a good number. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it's about 70 calls a month that it gets. It transports, take 240, divide that by 12. So you're looking around 20 times a month. It goes to the hospital. 70. So I don't have, I don't have that right in front of me, but it's about 70 times a month it's alerted, and it's usually the first unit on scene. Usually, majority of the time, it's the first unit on scene for now. You know, sometimes it's a stretch to the north end of the county, but it gets there most of the time before they leave the scene unless they cancel it. Because it's got a, 5-minute head start or a 7-minute head start on, getting out, even if it's coming from Kaiser to the north end. There are some major expenses in here. Our fleet is old. The newest unit we have is around the 2016. At that time period, the commission had asked us to stop buying ambulances because we were buying so frequently. And, COVID happened and the cost of everything went up through the roof. And when I took over, the ambulance authority was paying 100% of all maintenance for any department. I continued that, and it had been an ongoing process for years. It wasn't something that just happened 6 months before I took over as the president. Some of the maintenance in here is very high. Some of it was planned maintenance by the ambulance authority. Electrical reworks of 5770, of 3471. We bought a chain car for January. Yeah, so 70 average, 79 in January, made up the crew 5 times, but transported 22 times. So 5 of those 22 times, it wouldn't, the ambulance that it made up the crew with wouldn't have got out had they not made the crew.
I just thought.
Yeah, I get those emails.
I know you did.
Just average 70 times a month it gets called. The major maintenance there, I mean, you're gonna see some numbers, guys, I don't know without pulling the line item what we did, but like Fort Ashby's ambulance, $18,150. That's an exhaust, that's a DEF exhaust system that was completely replaced. I know that's what that was. It's on December 16th, 2024.
What is it,
So the diesel exhaust fluid, it heats up, Dutch, you may be able to explain that better, it like heats up and burns the.
It's emission stuff.
It's catalytic converter.
Catalytic converter for diesels, and then you have to put a DEF fluid in, DEF fluid. Or it's diesel exhaust fluid, but it's DEF. And there's an intricate system in there where it sprays this fluid in and heats up the exhaust so that it burns and clears out that diesel particulate filter. Which is another, just the same thing as catalytic converter, but for diesel.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's very expensive to replace.
Almost 20,000 a month.
Yeah, I'd like to put about $3,000 into mine and just delete it completely, but you're not allowed to legally do that, so.
Wow.
Kaiser EMS's ambulance 5772, you look, we spent $28,000 on the electrical nightmare that it was. It was rewired, it was remounted by a company. I'm down at about April 26th. It was completely remounted by a company called Peachtree in North Carolina. We got into looking at it because Elk District ambulance was remounted by them and it almost caught on fire and Peachtree went bankrupt and went out of business. So we fixed the electrical nightmare on Elk District ambulance in 2023. And in 2024, we got into looking at Kaiser's, which also had the same terrible mess. So we fixed it. But when we fixed it, there was a bunch of rust on the box and things like that. You would find a Mitch's Body Shop on there that we also, we went through voting and approved that. So the ambulance is not in bad shape, but it needed fixed and repaired. And, we spent money, but that's better than buying a $450,000 ambulance. You can look at, there's a chase car upfit on there. That it's completely paid for. It's being done right now. We paid the 50% twice. So it's paid for. Short Gaps ambulance is paid for. The refixated, it's a 2005 and you'd be driving down the road and all power to the unit would just shut off in the back. You'd have no power, and that's a major problem if you have a bad patient. So we fixed it. There are some expenses here. I paid
I never turned down a payment on that. Now, at the last meeting, we didn't have a meeting, but I did tell them that there is some flexibility in what we pay for that we don't, and that as the president, I had the right to approve my bills for the bylaws. And until we have this next meeting to discuss budgeting, that I was gonna cut back to paying only 50% of maintenance from that date forward. We had a couple stragglers out there. I repaired a Fountains ambulance that cost $33,300 from a blown motor, and when the motor went, it locked the transmission up and twisted the gears off in the transmission, so we had to put motor and transmission in it. It's a 2011. The truck is still in very good shape, frame wise, suspension wise, it works well, and it now has a brand new motor and transmission. How many miles? Probably 50,000. It just, well, we sit there and idle. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. A lot of that is, they make these ambulances diesel trucks because they're heavy, they have to haul a lot, but they don't take into context that there's gonna be a call, somebody's gonna get in it, they're gonna turn it on, and they're gonna step on it and take off, and there's no.
Boxes on them aluminum.
Some, so some of them are, yeah, aluminum, right, but some of them are multiple, welds and put together. The Braun ambulance that Short Cap has and the Braun ambulance that Wally Ford has are one piece of metal. There's no welds. It is, I mean, you can hit it with a Panzer tank and that box is gonna live because they are made strong and tough. Now, it would be a wild quote, but we got that ambulance, we ordered that ambulance in 2014 and got it in 2016 for Short Gap. And I think we ordered Wally Ford's in 2015 and got it in 2017, and that's the last new ambulance that we got. Both of those ambulances were rated about the $200,000 price range in 2015 or 17. You're looking at $450,000 for something that, safe, sturdy, well-built now. And next year, probably 480. I don't, it's a scary world we live in here financially. I know it, when you run your business, so, we went with the 50% reimbursement for bills. You take out all these extra things that we did last year. I think we spent about $80,000 looking at this in regular maintenance for the year. We spent about $80,000 in extra maintenance and refurbing and doing some things. That's not planned right now. In the future, we have one ambulance that's got a lot of problems. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. We're gonna have to talk about it. If the 50% comes true and we can stay at that, or we can look at how we're spending and paying our bills. If you take out all that extra maintenance that we did, the refurbing, paying a chase car, things like that. Our bills are down to around spending about $40,000 on maintenance versus $160,000 this year, so that's a big savings. There's a chase car payment in there. What is that lease payment a month? $13.33 a month. And eventually Fort Ashby was approved. We approved a purchase of an ambulance for Fort Ashby in 2021.
Yeah.
The truck has still not come in. They've given them dates multiple times. It hasn't come in. We're sitting waiting. That's gonna come along. The ambulance authority approved $150,000 toward the purchase of that. It'll be a lease where Fort Ashby writes us a check up front for the cost of the ambulance. And then we pay off with that check, the majority of it, and lease, do a lease program for the rest at whatever rate. That is, I would say it's gonna be about a $15,000 to $20,000 a year payment. We got into that before the price of everything went up, and Dutch and I have talked a little bit, and I've talked to people in the county. The levy percentage is still the same as it always was. Oil changes and things on ambulances were $90 in 1998 and 1999. They're $300 now plus, $300 plus if you get into replacing other filters and systems. It's you're pushing $500 with no question. So that's where expense is. You can see the ALS 201 expense, $136,451. But you take $12,000 off of that if the money that came back in, you're looking at about $124,000 there, and about $300 a month, $350 a month in fuel, depending on miles run and stuff, something like that, somewhere in the $300 ballpark a month for fuel, and that is fuel and ALS 201 bonus. Now, there's some serious ALS 201 maintenance in here, from last year, and we pay for all of that. But we would pay for it regardless. It's, there was a transmission and an exhaust system. There was $10,000 put into that vehicle last year. Ignition coils were $885, transmission $5,793. And a muffler for $2,000.
$2,900 for a muffler.
Oh, yeah, you check it out, man, there's twin turbo V6s that Ford has. I had a friend of mine that has to get a new exhaust system for his Ford 2018 Ford F-150, $4,000 for a muffler exhaust. Because the system is fried and it won't operate.
That seems a little crazy.
That's a 4,000 a Ford price. This is from,
Yeah.
it's not under warranty, so Route 28 is. But Ford's labor rate is through the roof compared to Route 20. You can't.
That is ridiculous.
Anybody though, when the ambulances take up here, they take them to some of these other shops up here, they're cheaper than.
Man, you got to put $1,800 in rotors and brakes on 201.
Yeah,
What does uplift mean? 50% of uplift on ALS 202.
so that's that's the upfitting it for the, so there's gonna be, it says 50% twice there, but it's. There was. So part of it, we had to buy radios. Or the radios for it was $4,995. We bought one mobile radio and one portable radio for it.
So it has three things here listed as 50%.
Yeah,
Light, the radio.
I'm not sure I don't like how,
Is that 50% of the cost or is that 100%?
we don't owe any more money, okay? It's all paid off. The 50% of the cost, it was around $20,000 to do it all. And 50% of the cost was the initial $10,000 check, and then I don't understand how those other two checks got written. Either way, we were gonna pay that, so it's, and it's in the shop being taken care of now. Part of it was waiting on parts. There's portable radios, or the radios for it are ridiculously expensive. And there's only one or two things you can get there, but there's not, you can't. So we have some work to do, budget wise, and we did pay, we paid $10,000, we paid $5,000 on, which she doesn't have listed. $5,000 on July 1st. The medical director and we wrote her a check again, like the last week of December, to cover the second half of the year for $5,000. Her contract states she's supposed to be in Mineral County for 2 ambulance authority meetings a year, handle QA, and supposed to set up for the quarterly training, which we had our first one that she set up, the second one's being planned. And she spends about 8 days a month in the county right now, even though the contract doesn't require that, running and being out and observing people and things like that. So that's, we spent $10,000 on it. We're getting more than what we asked her to do. And her buy down doesn't start until the contract signed. So that she's already working on a schedule for to post out for everybody. So where she'll be, what she's doing those days, what department she's going to be at, how many hours she's going to be there. So it's well in advance and ahead of schedule. So those departments know we need our people here that day. She's going to be here. It's a long one day with us and the medical director. On top of July 1st, the WVU fellowship program starts. So there's EMS fellows that are able to come down here and run as a physician instruct as well, and also take shifts at Kentucky Valley Hospital. And
Will you have her, do you know where the contract is at this point with?
it's at WVU Legal. They're looking over, it's written, WVU Legal is going over it to make sure that everything's covered, and we're gonna see it, and then somebody from here,
We'll have to work
probably
that out.
not me, I'm not an employee of the county, so somebody from here is gonna have to sign it after it comes back to here.
No, at least me, if not all three of us.
Yeah, somebody from here is gonna have to look at it and take care of it.
And we'll probably hand it over to Cody, or not Cody anymore, Charter Jones, probably.
Yeah, and we go from there, so there's,
But it is moving along.
yeah, and somebody, and I.
You got
I
30 days.
printed this and did it. Just to keep in mind, I sent out a message, an email requesting what each department spent on EMS last year, just EMS. Fire departments have their insurance costs and stuff like that, but EMS drives it because of the call volume. You know, in Short Gap, we had 500 EMS calls and 150 with the fire engine, you know. Between Short Gap, Fort Ashby, Kaiser, New Creek, and Fountain, we were at roughly the last tally. I haven't got it from the last few departments yet. We were at $1.3 million spent on operating those department function without adding in. It's expensive and it's. I don't know. I don't know where we go with eventually. I don't know what the situation is with the levy. I know it's been tacked until 2031. We talked about that. I don't know if we can come back to the taxpayers and say, hey, look, everything costs 600% more now than it did 5 years ago when we discussed when we were gonna have to do this. And say, hey,
Check, you can do a second one on top of that.
and put that out to vote and see if they would be willing to vote to raise the income of the ambulance authority. Because we have,
Not change the one we have.
No, because you can't, the people already voted on it, it's in place,
Okay,
and actually doesn't even start until 2026.
okay,
Because of the timing, but you can actually add another one, it would be an additional one,
okay.
as long as we don't go over our rates.
So then every 2 years, then we'd have to vote
It's good for 5.
for 5, so the one that we just voted on, and we do another one, so then they would just continue to alternate between.
and that's, guys, that's anybody here, anybody in this room, anybody in this business. Would rather go down the road of letting the taxpayers vote to take care of themselves than coming out and saying, hey, we have to increase this cost to you and your life, because. We're responsible for providing this service to the community.
But you couldn't get that on, you have a special election for that.
It would go on in the midterm.
Primaries.
Yeah.
So that's a year down there, a year.
Yeah, but we can, but
Well,
we
it's-
can
yeah,
hang
so
by our
it's-
thumbs for a year.
Yeah, work on budget things like we, me and you have talked about, and work on getting budgets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
Figuring.
we're gonna do that. There's,
The Hampshire County fee and the Hardy County, those were fees that the commissioners put in place?
Yeah.
Is that how that worked?
yes,
Yeah, we created an order and, but you can't, the problem I have with the fee is that then you end up. You have to have, that's a whole separate system, whereas. The levy is a lot more efficient because then it's just added on to somebody's taxes and our tax collectors take care of getting the money and everything. If you add in a fee, then that's a whole separate billing process, so you have that whole expense. Of sending out separate bills, you have to have a person to be able to collect that, and then if people don't pay. Your only option is to take them to magistrate,
And you're out.
and
Yeah,
then you're out to magistrate,
I don't want
so
to
that's.
do that. I don't.
It's not efficient at all, so you end up putting in instead of somebody paying a couple extra dollars on their taxes. You go put out $120, $150 fee, and it's just not efficient at all.
Guys, the voters in this county, whether they vote Republican or Democrat or independent registered, have always had common sense when it came to school levies and the fire levy and the EMS levy. I would be willing to say that at the end of the day, we go back out and say, hey, look, everybody around us is operating on $2 million or across the river is some gargantuan amount of money.
It's more than they are.
I'm not asking for that. We are operating on a bare bones budget here, and we are doing it as efficient or as close to as efficient as anybody else in the state, because yes, there are a lot of ambulances and there are a lot of departments that have them. So should we have a volunteer department not able to cover an area for today, the next one over is 5 miles away in most parts. You get stretched out over here in Burlington and New Creek and Elk District, but you talk about Elk District. They're up there on an island all by themselves on top of that mountain where it snows 8 months a year. And they haven't scratched it like 3 times in the last year. They are doing a fantastic job for a small group of people. And that's why when anybody says, that's a lot of money to keep putting into an ambulance in Elk District. Well, they pay taxes too, and having that ambulance set up there reduces response times for major medical emergencies and severe injuries by 20 minutes. And they do a great job responding to their ambulance. So, that's a non-starter with me ever, you know.
What was that other county, Dutch, they're right now it's in court, but they put another fee, some kind of.
That is Tucker County. They invoked a use fee. They found some code. They invoked a 2% use fee. And that use fee goes on to like lift tickets and rentals,
They're taxing the tourists. They're
Yeah, like a tourist, they're taxing the
so
tourists.
yeah, so it's taxing, so Tucker County's in a situation where they have about 6,000 residents. But they need an EMS system and infrastructure to handle 1 million people a year because of the tourists that come in. And they were one that they was trying to get the legislature to allow the counties to put in a 1% sales tax to help cover some of that. And that kind of thing, and the legislature keeps shooting it down. Well.
But now it's in court.
Yeah, now but it's in court, but.
The court uplifted.
Did you do your audit?
We have an audit done every year.
When
Last
was the
audit
last
was
one?
done in, October.
I knew it was this fall, but I didn't know what that, okay.
Yeah, October, I don't know,
Yeah, Tucker County's things in court, the court said they keep the fee in place.
Yeah.
Till there's a ruling.
There's a lawsuit.
Right.
and the thing is, like, when you talk about fees and people look or listen back at what the fee is in Hampshire County and the amount of money that they're using and things like that, that is not what I'm asking for. If the EMS, which is crazy, the way the levies work in this county, the fire levy receives, you know, roughly 700,000 a year, something like that, and the EMS somewhere around 260. Maybe 267, it was 240, the property value must have went up and we get, yeah, something like that, 260. So you look at that. EMS represents 90% of the call volume roughly in this county most of the time, maybe not 90%, but a good solid 80s. And its funding is, it's almost backwards. Now, you know, I can speak for Short Gap only because I'm the chief of Short Gap. Short Gap would have been in the hole last year if we would have had to pay for our maintenance on our vehicles. It took everything that we build out because people don't pay if they don't have insurance, and that's okay. We're gonna come take them to the hospital anyhow. And if they do have insurance, a lot of people can't afford to pay. And the county commission, of course, the ambulance authority went to the commission wrote an order saying that we won't hard bill anybody, so we'll take what you can pay, or your insurance pays, and you get some notifications and then it gets wrote off. There's nobody, we don't turn people into collections across this county, there's not an EMS agency in the county that does that.
Because
We didn't do it, because of that, but we didn't do it to begin with, but our billing company is always just like, hey, look, you know, we can get more money, blah, blah. You know, it's a taxpayer service. I'm asking if we can get the levy in the ballpark of the fire levy, we would be able to buy some new ambulances, not 11 new ambulances, but we would be able to buy a new ambulance a year maybe, or every other year to upgrade the fleet some. We got a bunch of ambulances for 2004, 5, 7. Now, Short Gaps was just redone this year. It's a 2000, it was built in 2005, but it started in 2007 unit. That truck, it's gold, 10, 12 years. We ain't gonna have to touch it. You know, that's good. That's good for Short Gap. That's good for the county. It's good for the citizens. We've got a lot of life out there. It's taken care of well. But there are some trucks that are problems, that are constant problems that need to get out of the fleet. And I don't know how you do it on a budget that we have. And I don't know, at what point are you throwing good money after a bad scenario, you know? So when I would come back to the levy and it would take all of us, the departments, the commission, everybody involved all together, the ambulance authority, to go out and educate the community and say, hey, look, yeah, we're gonna ask you to vote to spend a little more money. But we are way behind the times here and we need to catch up a little bit so we can serve you better. My thoughts are, a lot of these departments are paying a lot of money to people to cover their costs. Some have full-time employees, some have more than one full-time employee. They're paying call pay, they're paying this, nothing exuberant, but it's that and everything, my thought is, you know, you continue the Chase Clark program, okay, so that's out here. Buy some ambulances, take care of your maintenance. Take care of the medical director and not have to, you know, should we run out of grant funding or not be able to find funding for that, and the program continues to go the direction that everybody in the county thinks it's gonna go as far as training wise and stuff like that. To be able to afford that, and to be able to afford a portion, maybe it's 10%. Maybe it's 12% of a reimbursement for, hey, thank you for responding to 98% of your calls this year. There's 12% of what you spent on manpower back. And to keep, you know, because the day we go pay EMS in this county, if we have to, if you're looking at a paid system, you're looking at $4 million to do it right a year before you get into any problems. Well, but $4 million is base, just to cover the manpower to cover it right. Then you've got trucks and expenses and buildings and utilities and, you know, I don't have spare $4 million. Do you? Move to Mineral County and pay taxes so we can.
If we were to do a levy, it would go in 2026, when would it go into effect? Immediately or 2028?
It would go into, it would be 2027.
2027.
So it's 2025 now, it would be a 2-year, if it passed, it would be a two, like that.
Be about 2.5 years before we start collecting.
We can get through anything we have going on here for 2.5 years. Okay. I had one expense that I was on the edge of not paying for this last year, and that was the Fountain ambulance, because of the constant struggles. And the check's going to go in the mail probably tomorrow to pay for it, because we had long discussions and people were adamant that it needed to happen, and we had an ambulance starting meeting, we voted to do it. And, you know, I talked with Fountain, they asked for a time period to increase their responses. We're gonna go back and we're gonna talk with them and see where they're at and what they're doing on July 1st, like they asked for us to. And from there on, if you know, maybe, you know, we go down a different road with them in that department, that ambulance and what they're doing. But right now, the time period they asked for to do things and the way we discussed it is how it went. And that ambulance is in place and doing what it's supposed to do. So, and that check's going in the mail probably tomorrow, right? Would be my guess.
I'm taking the bills up after.
Yeah, so that check will go in the mail tomorrow, so. Okay, paid for and taken care of. Thanks for your time. Sorry I ran over. Any questions, get a hold of me. I would assume one of you guys, somebody's coming to the Fountain on Wednesday.
I have livestock association.
Okay, that's fine.
At the same time, 6:30.
Yep. So, there you go.
I'll see the park.
Okay, that's great, because that has to happen. That's certainly paying.
Thanks.
See you later.
Sir, sorry for the delay.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Sadly, I'm used to hearing the exact same thing in a lot of county commission meetings.
There's one thing that would really solve a lot of our problems. More gun.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
That's the way it is every place, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is. Commissioner Wetland, good to meet you. Commissioner Ludden, Rep Dusenberry, and Commissioner Staggs. They call you Dutch?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'll call you Commissioner. I don't know you that well.
It don't matter. Call me anything, just don't call me late for supper.
That,
You can
I'll
see
just
I
want
don't
to say
say
this
very often.
You've already got my.
I just gave you my, if you would mind. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. Well, I'm Rhett Dusenberry. I'm a district representative, area representative for Congressman Riley Moore, and I've been.
Down if you.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine, that's fine. I've been assigned
Rest yourself.
Mineral County, and I just started with the congressman as he took over from Congressman Mooney. Full disclosure, I worked for Congressman Mooney before. I was not assigned your county. I had everything all the way down first, the old second congressional district, all the way down to Rome and Clay County, and then the new second congressional district. I went all the way to Mon and Marion Harrison and Taylor Tucker, Barber, and I mean, I used to hear the folks in Roane County and Riley Keaton, he's from Roane County, our district director, and he and I talked about, you know, a lot of the EMS issues that they had down there. Sometimes they'd have to call for mutual assistance from Kanawha coming in, and so it's, I know exactly what y'all are going through. First of all, greetings from Congressman Moore. He's ready to help the citizens any way possible. We are in the process right now of getting our grant stuff started up, and when it comes to, you know, all the Homeland Security, FEMA, AFG, COPS, the list goes on. But then also Congressman Moore is also going to be open to doing congressional designated spending if they're going to do that in this Congress. So, but as you know, right now, I don't have to tell you, everything's like a tornado.
Right.
But still people have bills to pay, and we have services to extend.
With the new administration in Washington, do you think the grants will be cut much, or do you think they'll stay pretty much? What's your thought?
I'm not quite sure, my feeling on what's gonna happen on all of this stuff. I mean, you know,
There's a lot of cuts down.
well, there are a lot of cuts, and then there's also a lot of reevaluation as to where our money's going overseas or domestically. And so, we'll see. But like I said, I hear at different county commission meetings, and it's been the same way for a long time. And, but hopefully they're doing something down in Charleston too. We'll see. But what I'm here for is if y'all have any issues, that I've just stopped at our senior centers over here. We do mobile office hours where we send out information or put it in the paper. You know, a member of Congressman Moore's staff will be here at the senior center mobile office hours from 11 to 12. If you have an issue with any of the federal agencies, Social Security, veterans, et cetera, please come by and speak to them. So we're in the process of, I've got the library already lined up. We're gonna be doing that. But also if we have grant workshops, we'll be sending that information out to you as well. So the congressman also will get letters of support for grant applications. Now I know you work with Region 8, et cetera, and I'm used to working in Region 7 and 8.
Okay.
And so,
Region 7.
yeah, okay, good. So you know Shane White here.
I just attended the first.
Oh,
meeting
okay.
Yesterday,
Okay,
so I familiarized myself with it.
okay. Where was that?
It was in Martinsburg.
Okay.
I did attend by Zoom.
Oh, okay. Well, they're a good group, and they just now had the economic development meeting up there in Charleston. Did y'all go to the county commission? Any of y'all go to the county
Yeah.
commission? Okay, I thought I saw you in there, and I didn't get a chance to, I spoke after lunch. I mean, after lunch, after y'all all went down to the Capitol, and
Okay.
and I saw a lot of old friends in there that, and I call them friends because they're county commissioners, and you know how that goes. After you spend a lot of time trying to help the public and the citizens, and also I've been on elected commissions myself. So like I said, when I spoke to the group, you know, the swearing is over, now the swearing act commences. And it's a lifestyle. It's not anything you take off or hang it on the doors like your jacket when you get home. No, you know, it's there.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate what y'all do. I mean, it's a public service calling, and but right now, just to give you a little bit of information, Congressman Moore, when he was elected, of the freshman class that came in, there were 31 of them that came in, and he was elected president of the freshman class. So what that does is that gets Congressman Moore in the meetings as part of leadership. So he goes to meetings with the Speaker of the House, Chair of Ways and Means, Foreign Affairs, Armed Services. So he's making some good contacts for the state of West Virginia. Also, it's unheard of for a freshman to be on appropriation. Congressman Moore is on appropriations. He's also on 2 subcommittees and a vice chair of one. So he is definitely making an impact. He's brought forward some, and whether you're Republican or Democrat, he's working for what he deems is the best for the people. He's brought a bill forward on the, some of the tariff issues. And then also on, fentanyl. The best way we can kind of describe the fentanyl issue is that it used to be not a Schedule 1. And, also they had in that bill to push Canada and also Mexico harder for enforcement. And my understanding, the way they looked at it was, okay, if apple pies are illegal, well, we're flooding you with blueberries. Well, the pies are doing the same thing. So they went ahead and rewrote it, like if you're pushing anything that has dough and sugar in it, well, you fall under it. So I mean, they're trying to clean some of the stuff up and get active. And also working on certain visa situations with people coming in from China doing espionage in our university systems and also in our industries. So I mean, he's trying to push an agenda to protect citizens and stimulate the economy. So, but we're all still where the rubber meets the road. And that's why I'm here. If y'all have issues that y'all need me to voice, I mean, when I was down there Monday, just making the greeting, I spoke to, on behalf of Congressman Moore, I ended up speaking to folks that weren't even in our district, that were in Carroll Miller's district, and we notified them as to what their concerns were. And so, but that's what we do.
My concern with foreign countries. It's just exactly how much property in America are they gonna allow them people to buy? I don't think, you go to other countries.
Right.
A lot of the citizens came and buy property.
Correct.
Why in the world are they allowing other countries to come into America? I don't get that.
For ones,
To be looked at.
well, like you said, in other countries, if you're not a citizen, you
Don't
can't
buy.
own property.
Right, exactly.
Well, I mean, private property rights is one of our basics of our creation.
Right.
Individual rights, private property and, I don't know, I don't have the answer to that. I've always thought, well, just to give you an example, when in my days years ago, when I was on a city council and we did incentives for industry. They would come in and say, we're gonna build a $25 million plant. And I was going, oh, okay, and I mean, this is not in my purview as a representative from Congressman. But the incentive thing, they would do incentives, county and whatnot, and say, okay, we'll forego your taxes. They would bill them on the taxes, and then they would pay them, then they write them a check back. But the assessor would go in and verify they built a $25 million plant, because their philosophy was, hey, they can't roll it up and put it in a U-Haul and take it away. If they rolled, we can offer and send somebody else, and also we can retrofit and get another business coming in, get more jobs again, and so.
But when they own that property, you can't, I can see them owning the building, but building the building on leased property or
Yes,
something, but they're buying this property.
Well, that's above my pay grade.
I know, I
I'm sure what,
understand.
how they're gonna,
I'd like to see it addressed, though. I don't agree with that. I don't think any other country should come into America and buy land, property. And we got ones doing a lot of that.
well, I mean, if you want to get it in an email and send it to me, I'll send it up. If that's one of your concerns, or you can also go to our website. The website has different things where also you can request a meeting with the congressman when y'all go to DC for legislative. You can request, also we'll be doing some visits and whatnot, but, there's also, I'm external where I do like the, local office hours, but also we have a link on the website where people need to get in touch with us. And as you can tell, I gave you the sheet with our caseworker on the bottom as well. So
When it comes to discretionary spending, that you'll
they'll notify.
they'll notify
Yes,
people,
sir.
and is that like an application process, or there's things like the Carpendale Tunnel, we're
Right.
gonna look at
Yes, sir.
properties, is that?
You, there will be a notification,
Okay.
and I think it's like a portal, type of thing where you put in your application and then they'll do an examination of it. I'm not quite sure.
Any suggestions on how to get it twisted our way?
Well, Congressman Mooney didn't do them. So
So what
This
did,
is-
what did he do with his funding then if he didn't do it? Cause every congressman gets a discretionary funding, right?
Well, he wouldn't, your congressional discretionary funding is like an earmark.
Yeah.
Okay, when that bill comes, I can tuck that in there and hopefully it'll get approved.
Right.
But Congressman Mooney didn't do that. He always wanted people to, if you want a bridge built, you send a letter and we'll get a transportation bill instead of an earmark.
Okay.
But what I was told as Congressman Moore, he said, if we're gonna sit back and wait for some bureaucrat to determine whether we're gonna cut money for West Virginia or not, we're gonna be 49 or 50. And so that's why he said, if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna.
So
Put something.
if we see a need for a bridge in our county,
Or tunnel fix or.
well, if we.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're dealing with 27 other counties as well.
Yeah, I agree, I
So,
understand that,
it's-
but we could put a request in for that, or.
Yes, if, you know, when that opens up.
Okay. And that's just usually once a year they'll do
Yes.
that?
And but see, like I said, we're in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
In a lot of things. And so, you know, this budget that's gonna come down, then also reconciliation, if they can get that, and then it's gonna go to conference and they'll be tweaked by the Senate. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that are still, because I mean, you're gonna have challenges. I mean, we're having challenges to everything right now as well.
The
So,
reason I mentioned that to you, just to clarify what I'm thinking about, we got a community in Mineral County. There's, I don't know how many people is there, there's quite a few, but there's one way in, one way out. And that's it, and it's right at the foot of a mountain, and here a few years ago, when we had that earthquake, I thought about them. Because if something major would happen there, and if somebody had a heart attack or whatever, you have to take Trooper 5 in, if Trooper 5's in away, you got a problem. And I think about that a lot, if something would ever happen to people.
that's like down south.
Yeah,
They have 8 counties that are in application they've approved for and other ones are pending. I mean, supposedly they're having to go in there with mule trains like they did in Western North Carolina.
yeah, I've seen some of the pictures.
And so, I mean, but luckily, interestingly enough, I'm personal friends with some of the guys that were in the 19th Special Forces of the West Virginia National Guard, and they specialized on training that stuff. And so that's a good thing, because that means our people are trained up. And I mean, one of the guys was, and I mean, this is common knowledge to a lot of folks, but one of the guys was, you remember the movie The 12? The first group that went in,
Oh, yeah. And yeah.
With the Taliban?
Yeah.
but he was one of the backfill on the team that came in behind them. And their whole problem was only one guy could ride a horse. Well, these guys are horse people. And I mean, they would, train people on how to, you know, this is the nose where you feed it, and this is the hind pin where you stay away from it, because it's gonna kick or whatever. And then they teach them how to ride and how to set up, pack horses and everything, and then they would take them out in national forests on a training. And so it's, we've got a lot of good people that have a lot of good knowledge on that, and also a lot of just your regular rescue folks or horse people too. And so, I mean, we have a good advantage on that. And the National Guard has helicopters if they have to, so. And my understanding is our emergency personnel have done really, really good job in responding right off the bat. And I think we're in the process of seeing those emergency declarations gonna be bringing in to backfill them, you know. So, but, I just wanted to come out and introduce myself and, I'm looking forward to working with y'all, for y'all, and, we appreciate what you do. And like I said, I've been on that side of the table, and I've also, been, helping when I can and taking as care as best I can of the counties I'm assigned for the congressional delegation.
Well, I noticed your invitations to events are always welcome. here this summer. I don't know when it's gonna be. Hasn't been set no date, but when we get the courthouse done, we're having,
Ribbon cutting?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let me know.
We'll try to remember that, to let you know.
Tell you, a funny little story, my wife's Barber County and, all of a sudden when I went over to Hampshire and started talking to them, I started, seeing the signs, Pearsall Land Tract. Pearsall, and, then the Pearsall Flats is renamed by Ron, Fairfax, when he did the stone and all the land grants and everything like that. And, my mother's name was Pearsall. So I went in the clerk's office over there joking around and said, I'm a Pearsall and I'm here to reclaim our land. He just looked at me and started laughing and I said, I'm joking with you, and then told him the story. So, I'm sure I'm kin to those two brothers that started the Pearsall Flats and then it was renamed Fort Pearsall. They ended up having Washington, about 45 people during the French Navy War. So I feel like I'm part of the community already. So, and I'm sure they did hunting and trapping around. So,
Just remind me.
We're in Hampshire before we were.
yeah, well, that's.
We have Shelley Capital rep, field reps coming to this.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be, but April 4th at 10 o'clock is the Ed Kelly Awards at Kaiser High School.
Okay.
That might be good for you to come to too.
Yes, sir.
That would be great if you can show up. We'll be there, you know,
I can share that information.
Yes, ma'am. If you just want to flip that tomorrow.
yeah.
Ed Kelly, Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yes, sir.
They honor some of the top scholar athletes.
Yeah.
For Kaiser High School. 101st comes in, there's a pretty big production.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That'd be great if you could do that.
I'll put that on my,
April the 4th, 10 o'clock. You know where Kaiser High School
Yes,
is?
sir. Yes, sir.
How many counties do you have?
27.
27.
Well, that's the second congressional district is 27. I have, Lewis, Upshur, Randolph and Barber and Tucker, and then I have also Grant, Hardy, Mineral.
So you're not covering all 27.
No, man.
Oh,
Well, you know how that goes. Email will travel.
Yeah. So how many you actually
Region
cover?
8, Region 7.
Yes, sir.
Got one thing.
Yes, sir. I mean, we had, one of our staffers on the western side had a medical issue with it, so I've done district, trips and also, everything all the way to Parkersburg, Wheeling, everything, so I'm familiar with all the roads to take. Not all the pick paths, that's what I call them, the goat paths, but yes, sir. Yes, I live in Elkins.
Oh, you do?
Yes, sir. And so where I live in Elkins, when it was old district, second one all the way to the Ohio River and down in Huntington, well, not Huntington, but Kanawha, and then went all the way to the northern panhandle, and I was right there in the middle, and that's why I was able to do Roan and Clay and then even New Pendleton and whatnot. And so then when it changed, Pendleton went south, we picked up Grant. So that's when I was in the middle, and they said, well, you go north to Mon, Marion, Harrison, and all in there, and what you've been doing, and they did over here and over there, and so now we've got Wheeling covered, we got Central, and I'm in the mountain, what they call the mountain. I've been taking through all those counties, and then we have the other, but like I said, whenever we need assistance somewhere, we should get an email and we go. And that's what we should.
Well, I know, just speaking from what, committees I'm on, I appreciate the government. I know they've done us a huge favor here when they helped with our new building out here at the health department.
Yes, sir.
1.2 million, that's quite a
Yes, sir.
gift. That was great.
Well, I've already stopped by and spoken with the folks at the Council on Aging and the senior center, because that's where we do a lot of our,
Yeah, they're
and also the library, our
a lot of things in these smaller counties, they're hurting. It's not the easiest route.
Well, I was in Calhoun one time and the sheriff came in and said one of our deputies blew up an engine in the Jeep. We need $3,000. They said, we don't have it. And so, you know, it's one of these things where they went out looking to other counties and turned out that, Upshur County was gonna do a lease program with Enterprise, and then so they had all these carcasses, well, they sold them a Crown Vic for $10. Cause you don't have to go through the bid process of it's going to another municipality or county entity, and so, you know, we were like going, well, whoever that deputy is, he's gonna be stopped on the pavement. You know, when he has to chase somebody, cause whoever you're chasing is gonna have four-wheel drive probably, or something like that. He's not gonna be able to go off-road, but at least they have wheels to get him out of the department and on the road to respond. And that's the main thing, so. But, some counties they are trying to make ends meet best. Sadly,
I had one friend in the county, I won't mention the county, but when he goes to training, he pays his own way, because the county don't have any money. They don't have it to send him, he has to pay his own hotel bill, everything, registration.
Well, hopefully our economic development's gonna be taking off
Yeah.
now, because I mean, a lot of the things that they're saying, we could, I mean, we went from 3 congressional districts down to 2 in the last census, so that tells you everything, we're losing population, so.
Okay.
But at the same time, we're also gaining population. When people live in other places that they don't feel as safe and it's not as pretty, they come here because we leave each other alone and, pretty
West
much.
Virginia is one of the prettiest states,
Yes, sir.
I think, in the union.
I'm ready for the leaves to come out. I think all this snow and all this water after the,
If you look out.
drought, I think the leaves are gonna be
Sun's shining a
full.
little bit now, so hopefully it won't be long.
Hopefully the snakes won't come out as good as they usually do, and the ticks, but. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Like I said, y'all call anytime, send an email
Thank you, sir.
anytime.
We'll do that, but you remember the 4th, if you would.
Yes, sir.
April the 4th, everyone welcome.
I've already sent it.
Oh, you
Thank
did?
you, man.
Oh, you're on the ball. Okay. We have
Well,
a safe trip.
Your clerks are on the ball, I'll tell you, they need help unpacking, but.
No.
Everybody's kind of like, yeah, we know that situation.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Did you know, Lynn?
You were late coming in. What is your name?
I'm Rhett Dusenberry with Congressman Ronnie Moore's office.
Okay.
They're with the library, right? They're the library.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You mentioned library
Yes, ma'am.
associated with money.
Oh, with money? Well, I was talking also about mobile office hours. The libraries are always really good about letting us do mobile office hours. I've already talked to y'all over there about possibly hosting some mobile office hours, and they said, we're kind of tight, but we're more than happy to have you.
Yep,
And I was like,
we're in the
well-
middle of our tax program, so,
Yeah.
but we'll get you in.
oh, no worries, no worries. Hey, I've done a release for a constituent on the trunk of my car at the fair. I can do it anywhere. As a matter of fact, we'll rotate around and sometimes if you're at a volunteer fire department, I just sit there in the car, and if anybody comes during the hour, I step out. Are you looking for congressman's staff? That's me. And I've had a lot of the volunteer firemen, we'll give you the code. You can go inside and use that. No, sir, I'm not going in that building unless one of your people's here. I'm not gonna get any codes to anybody's building. So,
Okay.
my pleasure. Good to see y'all.
Take care, be safe.
And thank y'all for assisting us and giving us opportunity to get in here and introduce ourselves and let you know we're available.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Thank you very
Good,
much.
ladies. Good to see you. Take care. Thank you. Please, me.
Do you have a couple on that?
Yes, ma'am. Do y'all are supposed to? Are y'all
Yeah,
supposed to?
yeah, they're next, whenever they want to start.
Okay.
This isn't gonna be like a long time. I hope it doesn't take another appointment away from you.
Well, y'all go ahead. This is your time. Are y'all gonna be back over at the library?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll come over there in just a little while. Okay? Cause y'all are on a schedule. Y'all need to get your time before these gentlemen get late. So I'll come over.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Good to see y'all. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Are you coming up?
Set up here wherever you like, feel comfortable.
This one. apologize for being in the.
How are you doing?
How are you? But did you?
You get my talker.
No, I've got notes.
My 3-year-old great nephew was pretending he was conducting an orchestra and he had a stick. And his fingers are small and he lost hold of the stick. And I got to hold it right up against my face. So it doesn't look very good.
Okay, I actually wasn't at our meeting last year. I ended up getting sick, but my name is Dean Clayton. I'm the director of the Kaiser Library. We also have branches in Burlington and Fort Island. Just as a reminder, we are one of 14 regional libraries in West Virginia. So I provide resources and training to 7 other libraries in the surrounding counties. We do have a lot of adult and children's programming that have been going really well. Last year we had 136 events at this time. This year we have 167. Our attendance so far this year for all of our events that I've received stats for is approximately 2,300. So 2,300 adults and children have come to programs at the library. And that includes STEM education, our summer reading programs, different types of clubs and craft nights for the adults. Other than that, we also have a tax program that's for free. It is actually currently going right now. We've already scheduled or have helped already 47 people. Usually we get up to about the 60s and the amount of people that we do help every year for the tax program. We also provide, if you look at your second page, it's just kind of a reminder of the services that we do offer. We do offer we are all notaries at the library. In the last year alone, just Kaiser has notarized 335 documents, I believe, for people in Kaiser, and it is a free service, which is not the easiest to find around here. We also provide free access to internet, Wi-Fi, computer usage. We do help set up appointments for resume building, job application assistance. We've helped people with their unemployment filing, help with emails or any devices, really. We do as much as we can. Among the 3 libraries so far this fiscal year, we've helped about 1,100 people with anything device related and computer and all of that. And Kaiser alone, because for Kaiser, we have much more of an influx of that need in Kaiser than the smaller communities in Fort Ashby and Burlington. So Kaiser actually tracks the time that we spend helping people. We've approximately spent 21 hours so far for the stats that I have altogether on everybody that we've helped at the library this year. We're actually doing well on our match right now. If you don't know what our match is, so know you're kind of newer. The Library Commission down in Charleston gives us just over almost $136,000 to help fund our programming. And since we're regional, we get approximately $45,000 for that as well, which we don't have to match. So the County Commission, you usually give us $55,300. We also usually get $25,000 from the Board of Education and $5,000 from the city. So far, we've managed to get $33,801 from our non-tax, which is our taxes, fees, book replacement stuff, and donations, of course. We get a lot of donations from the community. So we're technically left to match 16,000 by the end of this fiscal year, but we are on track. Last year around this time, it was closer to 18,000. And I will let Sheila Golden, our secretary of our board, talk to you about where we're at on the new Kaiser Library.
Oh, yes, the new library is still definitely on the agenda for Kaiser. we realized that the lot that we own out between the nursing home, going up Southern Drive, between the nursing home and the fire company, is not really gonna be big enough for a library. I think, we let you know last year that we were looking for a larger piece of property. The main thing is, it will have to be at least a 2-story building. And put an elevator in something like that is very costly. And there are not many people close by at all who can repair them. And they do have problems pretty often. So, and we certainly can't do a ramp that's that steep to go up to a second floor in the space that we have. So we're looking, we would appreciate any leads that any of you have about space and so forth for a library. I didn't mean to interfere with your presenter who was here before us, but we applied, actually did the work. We applied for the Congressional Appropriations Funds last year. And actually, we did 2 years ago. And we asked for $50,000. We didn't know, we had never done that before. We didn't have any idea what an appropriate amount was. And when we kind of saw the list that was approved that year, we changed our amount for the next one, but we were approved for that 50,000. Then last year, we applied to Senator Shelley Mercado for $1 million for the new library, and to Senator Manchin also for $1 million. Both were approved. Now, we were told, correct me if I'm remembering incorrectly, they told you that the president last year had approved those $2 million.
Yes, both, all 3 of our requests for the last 2 years were approved. So that leaves us, that puts us at 250,000 towards a new library for congressional appropriations.
We're wondering right now, with the cutback of funding, we're worried that we may not get that money.
Has that been approved?
It's been approved. It was approved last year.
Probably.
Yeah, we just stay concerned and stay on top of everything, just make sure.
If you're looking for a piece of ground, I know where there's a piece at, it's out of the city limits.
Okay. I'm not too worried about that.
Okay.
I'm more concerned about people being able to get to it. Because
Well-
right now where we're at, we do have a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
This is up next to the health department there with the Aging Family Services on Jet Field off to the right as you're going up, or as you're going south on Hardestegger's Drive.
Okay.
The right thing of it is with that building,
Mm-hmm.
with that land. Well, the bottom part of it is in the flood zone. You have to
Yes,
go
yeah.
back to towards the back.
Okay,
But that is, they was wanting to sell that.
okay, so it's by the health department.
Plus you have to develop, or the transit authority that could help get people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
But Aging Family Services, you have to contact them.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
I know several people who work there.
we're hopeful that we will receive the money, and since it was approved last year under a different administration, it may come to us.
But at the moment, I'm currently operating under the fact that we will still be using the lot that we do have, just in case we don't find something. So right now I'm working on a project narrative / proposal that we will have to turn into, the HO. I don't remember which department it's through, but through the government. And then I'm also working on an ad for a building assistant, because I do not know anything about building a library. Other than what I need.
My next question, do you have any engineer drawings or anything like that?
I have what I've drawn, and what my brother and I have worked on. My brother is, Mr. Clayton at the middle school. He does the, related arts of, what does he teach? It's where he teaches like, mechanics, engineering, manufacturing and, building, construction, thank you. So he's been helping me a little bit, trying to draw up what I would kind of need, or at least what type of space. Currently, we have 4,000 square feet for the library that we have. I would like to at least double it for what we need. We are concerned about it for the lot that we do have, like she said, that it would have to be a 2-story building. I would prefer not to have a 2-story building. So.
If you had the ground, it'd be a lot better if you had an elevator.
Exactly right. Well, and
We can't afford an elevator and the
Yeah, well,
maintenance.
they're
on it.
expensive,
they are.
very expensive.
Anna at Hampshire County Library, they have an elevator and she and I have talked and it's 9 times out of 10, it's usually, closed for maintenance, and maintenance is hard for libraries,
It's an expensive thing and.
yeah. So,
Cause I'm new. Why wouldn't Piedmont be included in this region? Like,
Piedmont is included in this region, but it is not a part of the Mineral County Association.
Right.
why would there
I don't know why they're not.
Piedmont chose not to, is
It
what
was
I
their
was told.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, their choice.
but we do include them in our
We got
region.
Fort Ashby, Burlington, Kaiser.
Yes, yeah, Fort Ashby, Burlington, and Kaiser are the Mineral County Library Association. But for our region, we cover Gaten Bridge, Grant, Hampshire, Hardy County, Piedmont, and Pendleton. So, a lot of traveling,
That's a lot.
it is. So I do that on top of doing my regular director duties here, for the Library Association,
Okay,
so.
just personal, what Carrie Seaton that came?
Yes.
What-
She had some personal issues that came up
Yeah.
and she ended up leaving. We were all not, it was not expected.
Yeah,
She was very upset about it and, she and I still keep in touch.
yeah.
But she's
down, she's,
South Carolina,
I can stay in touch with her too.
good.
We have the same mutual friends from Connecticut.
That's
and
what she
how-
had said, yes, yes, yeah, we were not happy to see her go, she was wonderful. But, we did hire a new children's programmer and she's been doing very well as well.
That's awesome.
So she's, retired from the Air Force, so
She hopes to come back.
I'm hoping, yes. She and I keep in touch about the new building a lot, so
Oh, good.
she was very interested in that.
And she and I, probably not as much as Gia, but, we keep in touch as well.
I think we all pretty much keep in touch
Oh,
with her,
okay.
so. If you guys have any questions,
Good, see what we have to, see what we can do.
Yeah. and even if you don't give us any more than what you already do, I just ask that you keep it where it's at. So,
Understand that.
thank you.
So, yeah, when are you usually in over?
I usually work Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, 5, or 6. It depends on how. It honestly depends on my parents' medical appointments. I was out for 2 months over the summer for my father who almost passed away, so. But he is doing much better, so if anything, you can always call me or call over there and see if I'm in. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Thank you so much.
We appreciate your support.
I wish we had more, that I could do a lot more. Yeah.
So.
Soon as we're here today.
Wasn't there something else that for Mike?
No more here. No, we won't go back.
Wasn't there a, where did that go? What's up, Clary?
Then we have to meet with them about that.
Okay. What did I just do? I got so many.
It's been a long year.
I've been keeping mine.
Very hard.
I'm not very much stuff all the country.
So,
You know, it's my-
so we got lunch out there.
Got lunch in, have a meeting with you.
Exactly, and that's what.
Okay.
For the,
Yeah. Family
tracking
first.
development for.
All right.
Yeah, March.
Information back from that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You're not going?
Unless you-
You're welcome.
No, I didn't plan on.
Can you? Yeah, what's?
Thank you, Peter.
No, Can you email it? Is that Excel?
Yeah, I mean, it's constantly changing though, that's the
That's
thing.
fine, I mean,
It's,
I would like to have that email. And these.
I've had other sheets on it that I won't have to move around some.
Do we wanna adjourn from this now?
No, we need to get out to,
67.
Development Center.
We won't be back here though, will we?
No, no,
So how do you?
so you got to
How
stop the
do-
video,
how do we, yeah, so it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
so we are relocating out to,
Are you going?
Development Center.
All right, I make a motion that we relocate to the development center.
I'll second that.
Approve that also.
And I will let, him know that we are on our way.
You sure you don't wanna go, Eileen?
No, but thank you.
We're gonna stop the recording.